Okay, we do have a quorum, and I see that Board Member Gallo and Board Member Dr. Hill is here. So we'll go ahead and start in the meeting. Let me make sure I'm in the right area. I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. We'll do the Pledge of Allegiance, and if I have Ms. Rogers, if you could lead the pledge.
If everyone can stand, right hand over your heart, ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You're not supposed to go so fast. But there's no pause.
Yes, you're right.
All right, we will go ahead and give a moment of silence for the victims of the recent shootings. We also had one here in California at Gilroy, El Paso, Texas, and then Dayton, Ohio. I know there's so many that's happening. I think that's something that we have to, and of course, I just mentioned Gilroy here in California. So let's go ahead and give a moment of silence for the victims and their families. Okay, thank you. And these are unfortunate, we've experienced in our own school district, in our own city, and our prayers go to the whole family on behalf of the board. These are senseless. I just can't understand how people will do such horrific things, so our prayers for the family. Let's go ahead and move to 1.3, adoption of the agenda. Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, motion carried. 1.4, inspirational message by our very own Dr. Scott Wyatt.
Well, thank you, Madam President, and definitely thank you for that moment of silence, for the victims of, like you said, just a tragedy that I can't even put into words. But, our motto here is making hope happen for our kids, our community, our city. And, it starts, when you think about making hope happen, I always think about my son as an example, and how do we make our kids feel when they come to school? And I know it starts as fast as when they just get on the bus and our bus driver welcomes them, or when they arrive to school and there's people out in front of school that welcome them and let them know that they're someone and that they are appreciated. And I have to say that I love bringing my own messages that I find and quotes and videos, but I cannot outdo our media relations folks that put out a welcome back to our kids, our community this year. And that's really what I wanted to show, because when I saw it on social media, I didn't know about it. And I do follow us on social media. I said, wow, that is an amazing video. And it just was very profound. Really touched my heart. And so I wanted to show that and welcome everybody back to our school year, but media relations and also our executive cabinet, our school board, and everybody involved. When you see this video, you'll see what I'm saying. So let's go ahead and play it.
We are so excited to have you in this new school year.
Welcome back, and we hope you have a great year.
Talofa, hafade, aloha, bula, malolele. Welcome back. We're happy to see you.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to a new school year.
It hasn't been the same without you. Welcome back.
We hope you have a fantastic year.
Welcome back.
It's going to be a great year. Welcome back.
Yattahey, welcome back. It's going to be a great year.
It hasn't been the same without you. Welcome back.
Vamos a tener un año fantástico.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, students. We're excited about a 2019-20 school year. It's going to be a great one.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. It's nice to have you here. We hope you have a fantastic school year.
It hasn't been the same without you. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome back, students.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to school.
Welcome back. Hope you have a great year.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, students. Have a great year.
We're happy to see you.
Welcome back.
It's time for another great school year. Welcome back.
Well, welcome back to school. We're so grateful that you're here. We can't wait to get started. There are over 8,000 people in our school district that are ready to make hope happen for you today.
Welcome back.
Wow. I'll tell you, I've been in education 25 years myself, and that is probably by far the nicest welcome back that I get a little emotional about that I've ever seen. And some familiar faces here, obviously. And like we said, it's not the same without you. And that's to our students and our staff. We're so excited about this year. I know I am. I know our board is here, our executive cabinet, our team. And when you talk about collective impact, that's collective impact right there. That is everybody involved to make a difference in kids' lives and make a difference in our city. And you've always heard me say this, that we're leading the change in this city of San Bernardino, and I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of our team. And there was a lady on there, I'm gonna say a young lady that was in the video as well, and our chief of our communications, our media relationships, and today is also her birthday. Yeah, so I'm not gonna let her get away with that. So happy birthday to Linda Bardier as well.
Happy birthday.
And thank you to your amazing team for such an amazing video. And I'll tell you what, if you don't feel energized, I know I do. I got goosebumps seeing that. And of course, our Madam President, Madam Vice President for welcoming us back. So welcome back, everyone. I look forward to an amazing year.
All right, thank you. And on behalf of the whole board, we definitely welcome you all back, students, staff, teachers, everyone that works in the school district, especially families as well. So thank you and welcome back. Let's go ahead. Dr. Marsden has a few announcements really quickly.
You know, just one really. We have, with our welcoming, we have a couple great new folks as part of our team, and they're here as part of our onboarding program. So for our public and our community, we want you to know that any employee who's brought into our management team as a new employee is taken on an onboarding process which orients them to our values, our beliefs, our focus. And they get a tour of every department that goes on within the district. And so we have some onboarders with us here tonight. These are folks that are new to our team on a welcome. And we'll just have them stand and wave when I mention their name. But Travis Bella, painting supervisor, maintenance and operations. So he's in the back over here, so welcome. Raul Pedraza Jr., vice principal, Inland Career Education Center. So he's back over here. Welcome. Gregory Alexander III, vice principal, Arroyo Valley High School, is here. Welcome, Mr. Alexander. Dorothy Draft, Vice Principal, Lancashire Elementary School. She's here tonight. Eurydice Fitz, Vice Principal, King Middle School. She may not be here yet. It's been a busy day. Dr. Will Greer, Director of Equity Targeted Student Achievement. Dr. Greer is here. Ernestine Hopwood, our Director of Charter Schools, and she's in the back here tonight. Nareda Gutierrez, our Assistant Director of Special Education, over here on my right, your left. And Yasel Reyna, Coordinator of Special Education. So here you go. New members to our team. We're so grateful you're here tonight. Thank you. I want to introduce them to you. Thank you, Madam President.
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, and I'm sorry, Madam President.
No,
Thank
fine.
you, Dr. Marsden. And one more comment I also wanted to make to our video, as well as just our announcement of our new administration leadership team, is that we truly value diversity here in our district, and you see it in the video, you see it in our staff, and I think that's one of our greatest strengths here in our city, is that we value that. And I just want to also mention that as well, because you see it in the video, and it's just amazing to see the representation of our city, so thank you.
That's right. Thank you for mentioning that. And I think compared to other districts, I think we are that example of what we're trying to do in bringing that diversity in. We're going to go ahead and go to 2.1, special recognition. The Tachikawa, the San Bernardino City Sister City Exchange Program, and then we'll have Linda Bardier. And we're going to have the board come forward. Okay, so board, if we can come forward.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today as we recognize several Cajon High School students who have an adventurous spirit. They recently returned from a month-long stay in Tachikawa, Japan. And we have 4 special guests who have traveled all the way to our great city from Tachikawa as part of San Bernardino's Sister City program. Stay tuned because they're going to delight us with the presentation. Before we call the students forward, let me tell you a little bit about this exchange program, which has been around for 60 years. The bond between Tachikawa and San Bernardino began with the exchange of oranges between U.S. servicemen stationed in Tachikawa and Norton Air Force Base back in the 1950s. Since then, dozens of Tachi kids have formed bonds of their own. Students, when I call your name, please come forward with your host student and your family to greet the Board of Education and Superintendent Dr. Del Marsden. Karina Borsick will be on hand. She's going to stand toward the front of the line where you will enter. And as a token of our appreciation, each student will receive a basket filled with district swag. So first up is Ms. Sophia Jacqueline Fleischman, and the student she is hosting, Nazuki Shinozazi. Zaki? Next up is Miss Angelina Alexandra Hensley, and she is hosting Maya Sugita. Sugita? Sugita. Our next student is Ms. Isabella Palomares, and her host student is Kazami Iwata. The final local student attends the California Virtual Academy and San Bernardino Valley College. Mr. Michael Jose Avila, please join us, along with Deina Nisoti. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give our local students and their Japanese guests another round of applause. I believe that after the students have greeted the Board of Education, some of them will make a presentation to the Board of Education. Who else is presenting? Like, is somebody up there still part of the presentation? Okay.
Yeah. She is and your sisters.
Okay. What's your name?
Angelina.
Okay, so I'll introduce you and I'll let you come up first.
Oh,
So,
sure. Okay.
but I'll wait till they finish chatting. So you're Angelina Hensley.
Okay, so when you introduce me,
Yeah, you'll come up.
Thank you so much.
say a moment? I want to touch on Sierra being on
Okay, yeah. As we pose for the final picture, Board Member Tillman has a few short comments that he'd like to make.
And I want to start by saying congratulations. I know it's a great experience, and it'll stay with you for the rest of your life. You know, there's a student named Dexter Thomas Jr., and he was in this actual program, and he actually lived in Japan for a long time and ended up getting a job working for the program called Vice, but he still goes to Japan a lot. But I was able to contact him because my daughter Sierra graduated from Cajon High School, and she went to LMU University. In her senior year, she did an exchange there for a semester, so she went to Osaka, Japan. So she was there for a semester going to school. That was last year. And this year, she got in a program called the JET program. You probably want to know it. Maybe you know about it, but the Japanese exchange and teaching. So she's there in a town in Nagasaki teaching English. And so she left 2 weeks ago. And she'll be there for a year. They pay your transportation, and they give you $30,000 a year to live. And they have subsidized housing. So she's staying in an apartment there for $70 a month.
Yeah, Angelina.
Yeah, you can't beat that. So you definitely want to look it up, and you interview for it, and you get to stay up to 5 years.
We have another success story. Dominique Gutierrez is also a former Tachikawa student.
And tell them what you're doing now.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Dominic Gutierrez. I graduated from Cajon High School in 2018. I'm here for the summer from UC Berkeley. I'm studying history and education. And I just wanted to say how valuable this program was to me in terms of not only like personal growth, but in terms of what I want to do in the future. Going to a different country for the first time was really interesting for me. Prior to the program, I'd only left California a couple of times. And because of this experience, I just studied abroad in Peru this summer. I just got back a week and a half ago. And that's something that I certainly wouldn't have done without this program. And it really taught me to open my mind and not be afraid to be far away from my parents. And also, I think it helped me feel more comfortable going away for school on my own, because I was definitely pretty much dead set on staying around here so I could be closer to my parents. But living on my own for a month really helped me grow up. Yeah, so this program has been awesome. It allowed me to connect with the city on a more intimate level and meeting people like you on this board. And now I know I want to return here and work here after I graduate college, whether that be as a school teacher or perhaps an attorney. I really thank the city for its constant support. And yeah, thank you guys very much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dominique. And now, as promised, we will have some of our current participants come up and say a few words. So let's welcome Ms. Angelina Hensley.
Good evening, President Medina, Vice President Rogers, Board, Superintendent Marsden, Deputy Superintendent Volkemer, and Cabinet. Watashi wa Angelina Hensley desu. Watashi wa 17 歳です. Cajon Koukou ni kayote imasu. And that basically translates to, hello, my name is Angelina Hensley, I'm 17 years old, and I attend Cajon High School. This summer I spent a spectacular month in Tachikawa, Japan. Let me tell you a little bit about the Tachikawa-San Bernardino Sister City program. Our organization was established in 1959 as a program to promote international understanding and friendship between citizens of the United States and Japan. The goal of the program is to offer students from San Bernardino the opportunity to live in a town in Japan that is approximately the same size as San Bernardino. In 1962, our program started sending San Bernardino High School juniors to Tachikawa, Japan. The students and families are selected based upon school, academics, extracurricular activities, and an interest in learning the Japanese culture. The selected students are given a 9-week crash course in Japanese language and culture. In June, they flew to Tachikawa, Japan for a month of homestay, which means they lived with a Japanese family. There, they learned the customs and daily life routines of the Japanese family. In return, these student ambassadors brought back a student from Japan. That student lived with them for a month to learn the American way. We have found that our students exchange many ideas and customs during the 2-month experience. This enhances their lives in the future. We have UN judges, dignitaries, and business members in the community, and we believe this experience has helped each of them grow as an international citizen. In 2019, the Tachikawa-San Bernardino Sister City program celebrated its 60th anniversary and friendship with Tachikawa. It has been my honor to participate in the Tachikawa Sister City program as an ambassador this summer. Being an ambassador for our city has come with tremendous responsibility, not only in representing our beautiful city, but in learning the culture, daily lives, and societal norms of a city parallel to ours in Japan. In Japan, we experienced many adventures with our families, built close relationships, and had once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. My Japanese family were welcoming, loving, and kind. Bringing Maya, my Japanese sister, home to learn our culture and family lifestyles has been amazing. In Japan, my dad and I bonded over cars and music. My mom and I cherished our tea time daily, and my sister is a perfect match of a miniature me. The temples and history are memories I will hold dear to my heart forever. The experience has become so much more than public speaking opportunities. The application process, the interview process, and self-discovery of a love for history. I have gained a global family for life. We have worked hard to keep this organization operating and offering in students of San Bernardino a choice to be immersed in another culture. Thank you for this opportunity to share our program. Next, my sister, Maya Sugita, will speak about her experience. Thank you.
Good evening, President Medina, Vice President Rogers, Board, Superintendent Marsden, Deputy Superintendent Volkamer, and Cabinet. My name is Maya Sugita. I am 16 years old and attend Kichijo High School in Tachikawa, Japan. In Japan, I attend school 6 days a week from 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. At home, we constantly study because exams are very competitive. We have clubs we attend such as musical productions. There is not extra time for the social aspects of life. In America, we are very social. My family has created a village. We see and speak to neighbors, we socialize, and my sisters spend time with friends. Most of all, we show emotions, and my favorite emotion is hugging. Thank you for your time. Now, please meet Isabella Espinosa.
Good evening, President Medina, Vice President Rogers, Board, Superintendent Marsden, Deputy Superintendent Volkamore, and Cabinet. My name is Isabella Espinosa Palomares, and I am a senior at Cajon High School. I, like many of the people of Southern California, grew up in a Mexican-American household. When the Tachi kids from last year gave a presentation about this program in my English class, I knew I had to sign up. This trip would be another way for me to see a different culture while getting out of my comfort zone. One of my most memorable experiences is having tea served to me in a traditional Japanese tea ceremony. In Japanese culture, tea is so important that there are people who study the art of tea serving. My host sister studies this art along with members of her traditional Japanese tea serving club at her school. As a person who drinks tea every day, it was very interesting to see how in Japanese culture, tea is such an important thing. In contrast, most Americans switched to coffee after the Boston Tea Party. Experiencing culture and life are important aspects of the Tachikawa Sister City Exchange Program. I am grateful for this opportunity and appreciate the new family and sister I have gained. Now I would like to introduce my host sister, Kazami.
Good evening, President Medina, Vice President Rogers, Board, Superintendent Marsden, Deputy Superintendent Bolkama, and Cabinet. Hello, my name is Kazami Iwata. I'm 16 years old. I live in Tachikawa, Japan. When I spend time with my host sister, Isabella, I feel that she is my real sister. She is kind and we can act silly around each other. Isabella shows me she cares by hugging me. Something Japanese people don't normally do. We even invented a signal to show when we want to hug. I really love my sister. Thank you. Now I would like to introduce Sophia Fleischman.
Good evening, President Medina, Vice President Rogers, Board, Superintendent Marsden, Deputy Superintendent Vocamore, and Cabinet. My name is Sophia Fleischman. I am a senior at Cajon High School. During my stay in Japan, I was able to learn a new culture and gain many skills that helped me to be successful in the future for college and life. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I am grateful for the committee and thank my parents, family, and friends for their support. Thank you. Now I'll introduce my host sister, Natsuki Shinozaki.
Good evening, President Medina, Vice President Rogers, Board, Superintendent Madison, Deputy Superintendent Bolkama, and Cabinet. My name is Natsuki Shinozaki. In America, I have enjoyed visiting San Francisco the most. I am glad to join this program because I have met so many great people and I will learn more about the society in America. I thank the program and my family for this experience and support. Thank you. Now I introduce Michael's host sister, Reina.
Good evening, Board and Cabinet. Hello, my name is Reina Mitsui. I'm 16 years old. I attend Takuichi High School. I like that everyone here in America hugs when they greet each other. In Japan, we are more formal. We bow or shake hands when we meet. Thank you very much for your time and support of this program. Next, please meet my brother Michael.
Good evening, President Medina, Vice President Rogers, Board, Superintendent Marsden, and Deputy Superintendent Wolkamore, and Cabinet. Konbanwa, minasan, watashi wa Michael Avila desu. Watashi wa 17 sai desu. This is the opening lines of my speech that I gave in Japan. It translates as, good evening, my name is Michael Avila. I am 17 years old. Being selected as a student ambassador to represent the city of San Bernardino in Tachikawa, Japan is something that I'll always be proud of. I'm grateful for the experience. It was an eye-opening adventure that showed me things that were outside of my comfort zone. Most rewarding of all, I experienced being part of my host family. I saw amazing sights during the month, like the Great Buddha of Kamakura and the scenery of the Oktama Mountains. But it wasn't this that made my trip so remarkable. It was being a part of my family and helping my mom cook breakfast in the morning and folding my family's laundry that is where we really connected. Now back home, my host sister Reina has warmly connected with my San Bernardino family. We have gone to San Diego, the beach, the Getty Museum, and toured Garner Holt. We plan on taking her to the Abraham Lincoln Memorial in Redlands, Valley College, and Disneyland. Keeping the cultural experiences available and this program thriving is important to so many between our cities. I plan on doing my part to help keep this program strong and alive. I want other students to experience all that Tachikawa San Bernardino Sister City program has to offer. I would like to ask the board to also support this program by sharing its information throughout the high schools, allowing our visiting Japanese ambassadors to attend a high school for a day or two, and any other way possible. Thank you for allowing us to share our experiences with you. Arigatou gozaimasu. I would also like to open it up if you have any questions for any of us.
Great, thank you. Mr. Tillman?
So I have a question for you. So how does the program actually work? You went to Japan?
Yes, we go for a month stay, and then after that month, we and our host sibling come back to America, and we do the same thing. But
Oh, nice.
Vice
So
versa.
you spend time with
Yes.
a student there and their family, and
Yes.
they come back and spend the same amount of time
Yeah.
in your household with your family.
And before traveling to Japan, I got to know my host sister through communicating through a social media app. So then we
Right.
could both
All
get
right.
to know each other beforehand.
Thank you.
I wanted
All right,
to ask
thank
you a
you.
question.
Dr.
too.
Flores?
Your Japanese is so fluent. How did you develop that? Or
I'm not fluent in Japanese.
you sound like it.
Yes, we worked hard on pronunciation, which helps a lot. And during the 9 weeks crash course, we also practice our speech and get very familiar with it. So that helps a lot because we have to memorize it so then we can give it by memory.
Okay. And how long did you spend there? Just a month?
Just a month, yes.
Just 1 month. So you learned a lot.
Yes.
Yes, that's great.
Okay, any other questions from board members? I do have one. It was mentioned by our host sisters or sisters from Japan regarding the hugs, and I was just curious on those that went from here in California to Japan, if they noticed the difference as well. Yes.
Hi, I'm a hugger.
Yes.
Going to another country and meeting someone, it was very hard for me to keep my hands down and respect their personal space.
Okay.
Because, like here, if I meet someone, I immediately greet them with a hug because that's very much how I am. And it was very hard to not get a hug from my parents every day after coming home from something, or not getting a hug when I am introduced to someone. It was very difficult, but coming back over, while I was there, I kind of told my parents, like, I'm a hugger, I need a hug. So I kind of tried to bring that over there with me, and I think it stuck. And so
Okay.
So yeah. But to answer your question, it was harder, but we taught them that like it's okay to give hugs. You know?
Okay. Okay. Good. Thank you. And then Dr. Hill.
Of course, I always enjoy hanging out with all of you, but you might want to extend an invitation to the board, the superintendent, and cabinet for your event next week. I think you said next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday or Wednesday.
Well, if you tell
It's
us
Tuesday,
where and
yes.
the time, maybe some of us will show
It's
up.
Tuesday in the evening. I'm not
And
sure.
where are
what
you
time.
going to be? Okay.
I'm sorry, I wasn't part of the planning commission.
Oh, okay.
On behalf of the committee, we'd like to invite you all to our Sayonara Party, which is next Tuesday at Arrowhead Country Club at 6 p.m. If I can get an RSVP of who would like to attend, I do have to give a head count, but we'd love to have anybody join us.
All right. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and thank you all. Did you have?
Madam
a-
President?
Hold on. I think, were you done, Dr. Hill? Oh, yes. And then Mr. Tillman?
How many parents are in the audience? Can you stand? All right. And we really do appreciate you. We know that it's a huge commitment and a lot of responsibility. So thank you for making this happen.
Yes, and I do want to mention, back when I was 13, my mom was a host parent, and we had a host sister from Japan as well. And so that's where I learned a couple of words, arigato, konnichiwa, and just the culture. I loved to dance back then, and I still do, but I remember teaching them dance moves. This was back in the late 80s, early 90s, so the moves were different then. So it was always fun. It was always fun to learn from the different cultures that they came from. So thank you so much for bringing this to us, and hopefully one of the board members will be able to attend your sayonara. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and go to 2.2, resolution recognizing Governor Newsom's executive order N-15-19. I'll go ahead and read this really quickly. It says, whereas in June 2019, Governor Newsom signed Executive Order N-15-19, formally apologizing to California's Native Americans for historical mistreatment, violence, and neglect. And whereas the governor's historical acknowledgement marks the beginning of a new relationship between the state and the more than 700,000 Native Americans living in California. Whereas in collaboration with California tribes, the state seeks to more closely explore the historical relationship between the state and California Native Americans through the establishment of a Truth and Healing Council. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education of the San Bernardino City Unified School District commends and supports Governor Newsom's endeavors to work collaboratively with California Native Americans to tell the truth about our past and begin to heal deep wounds.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, motion carried. Then we're going to go ahead and go to 3.1, closed session, public comments. Do we have any comment cards?
No comment cards for closed session, Madam
Okay, so
President.
then we'll go ahead and go to 3.2. The board will now adjourn to closed session. We will be back shortly. So I'm going to go ahead and start 4.1, action reported for closed session. Be resolved that the Board of Education approves the appointment of the following employees. Portillo Victor, Elementary School Vice Principal, effective date, work year, and salary to be determined, funding 035. Robel Kimberly, Elementary School Principal, effective date, work year, and salary to be determined, funding 035. Wild Lauren, Elementary School Principal, effective date, work year, and salary to be determined, funding 035. Can I have a motion?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, motion carried. And congratulations, if you can stand so we can see you and acknowledge you.
Welcome to the team.
Welcome.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. And of course, welcome to our new school year. Here's another item. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves a settlement agreement, claim number SB 17-9686 in the amount of $50,000. Requester, Director, Risk Management, Approver, Associate, Superintendent, Business Facilities and Operations, Business Services. Can I have a motion? Any discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carried. Okay, great. So now we'll go ahead and I will now open public hearing. Open public hearing. 5.1. Oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and go to the public comments. I know it is past the time.
Actually, Madam President, since it's the public hearing is open and there are no public comments on item 5.1, so if the board wants to go and take that action, they can do that.
We could do that?
quickly.
Okay. So 5.1 is College and Career Access Pathway Partnership Agreement. At the regular Board of Education meeting on July 16, 2019, the district presented the dual enrollment partnership agreement as an informational item. At this time, the board shall take any public comments. As mentioned, we do not have any comment cards, so I just need a motion.
So moved.
Any discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, motion carried. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves ratifying and entering into dual enrollment partnership agreement AB 288 with the San Bernardino Community College District, San Bernardino, California, on behalf of San Bernardino Valley College, San Bernardino, California, to provide college and career access pathways for 840 district students, effective date July 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 2024. Now we will head to public comment 6.0. This is the time during the agenda when the Board of Education is prepared to receive comments from members of the public on any matter within its subject matter jurisdiction. So when recognized, please step to the podium, give your name, and limit your comments to 5 minutes or less. Please monitor your time, and we do have a computer back here with the time set, so as you're seeing the number go down, just be mindful, and you'll hear Karen saying time, and that's your time to finish.
Good evening, and the board welcomes Christy Granillo, Earl Benjamin, Israel Orozco, and Dr. Juan Carlos Baleard. And their topic is Community Health and Education Workers Project in partnership with the Student Attendance Review Board. So good evening and welcome.
Good evening, President Medina, Vice President Rogers, Dr. Marsden, board, and cabinet. We're just thrilled to be here tonight. And first of all, just see the whole process of the board. It's been very educational. But I wanted to introduce our team. Christy Granillo is the manager for our community health workers, both in the hospitals and school districts. And we have Mr. Earl Benjamin, who's well known here in the district, and also Israel Orozco, who's also one of our CHUs. So we thought we'd bring in the male representation of the CHUs.
Welcome.
So the women gave them a chance to speak tonight. So they'll be sharing with you this evening. But I just wanted to introduce the team to you. And Christy was hired a few months ago to lead out with our community health workers, like I mentioned, in the hospital and also in the district, which 4 years ago, we came up with this idea of using community health workers in districts, and the San Bernardino City Unified School District has been the first district to adopt this model. And now we're seeing districts across the county now adopting it. So Chafee just started their CHU program this week, actually, and we're working with the county superintendent of schools to spread this model to other school districts. So just want to thank you for the opportunity to really model this this CHU program here in San Bernardino, and I'll let the team share some of the findings that we have for you.
So behind you, I have a presentation, and I'm just going to speak on some of the findings for this year, for 2018.
We can see it on the screen in front, so don't think I'm ignoring you. We have a monitor we can see down below.
Oh, okay, perfect. So before we begin, I just wanted to give an overview of community health and education workers, also known as CHUs, and the work that they do. So our community health and education workers for San Bernardino City Unified, they share a close understanding of the community. All of the members on our team are parents or of students who have been through San Bernardino City Unified School District or currently have students who are attending schools within the district. You may have seen some of our folks on some of the meetings, board meetings and or cabinets, and they are very involved, which provides them a special position in the community to link our folks in the community to health and social services. They specifically work or are currently working with the Student Attendance Review Board to tackle chronic absenteeism in hopes of increasing student attendance in schools and decreasing chronic absenteeism. Through their work with families, which is specifically home visits, they work to build self-sufficiency, connecting them to resources, and then outreaching, having education and advocacy for our parents. So some of the data that we found working with SARB this year, We surveyed 293 families while sitting in on the meetings, really looking at the root causes for chronic absenteeism. With the 293 families, the family has an option to choose whether they would like to have home visits with the choose to resource them to the community and county resources. So 4 out of 5 families had accepted home visits with the families that we worked with. And we came to our top 3 reasons for chronic absenteeism, and number 1 was low engagement. I have a few examples up there. Lack of or no motivation to go to school, ditching, supporting family members. This can be maybe having to babysit a sibling or having to work in order to supplement income for the household. And then more importantly, the excessive use of technology has become a huge issue for our students as far as waking up in the morning. For number 2, we discovered disability or health issues that students are facing and or families was a huge issue for the reasons why they were absent. Interesting enough, we had asked the question for students and families to see if the student had been diagnosed with a chronic disease or illness. Overwhelmingly at 92.2%, students had not been diagnosed with a chronic disease or illness. However, it is number 2 for the reason why. So we're really digging in this year to see, well, what are the specific health issues? And is the health issue the student, or is it a family member or a sibling? And that's one of the reasons why they're not able to attend school. Lastly, we have social emotional stressors, which is often compounded with low engagement. So we see this come out in low self-esteem, peer pressure, bullying, lack of sleep, and then a lot of mental health challenges. So this year, in order to improve upon what we've collected, and we found our top 3 reasons with a sample of 293 families, this year we're actually going to be surveying the entire population that goes through SARB. So we'll know with absolute assurance that these are the things that families are facing. We've also added in some nuanced information that we may have missed in our data. So immigration will be tracked and any of the challenges faced for families. Separating parent health issues from student health issues, and if it was a family member. Incarceration of a parent or student, mental health, vaccinations, as well as technology. So that's a lot of numbers, and I want to provide a human experience for this. So our CHUs are actually going to share about some of the families that they worked with and kind of give a face to this.
Can I ask a question? A question for you, for 2 items. You said that they listed disability or health issue, but there wasn't an actual disability or health issue that was diagnosed?
No.
So what, give me an example.
So some of the reasons that were coming up is student has a cold. That was a reason for chronic absenteeism. This year we are tracking through our home visits. So as the CHUs go through every home visit, as they build rapport with families, we may discover that what was initially said at SARB may not be the root of the issue, but we're going to discover that this year. So the data is trying to, we shifted what we're collecting to make sure we get to what the root of the health issue
And
is.
one of the, you said electronic devices. You're talking about what?
Social
games
media
or,
and games.
Oh, social media.
Students are not able to wake up for school because they're engaged on some sort of social media and or video gaming, and we're seeing that
But they're
overwhelmingly.
engaged like to 2 or 3 in the morning. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And so, do the parents know it?
The parents know it. Yeah.
And
So
I see kids nodding too. It's like, yes, yes.
So do they? I mean, do we educate parents? They can take the game away. They can take the phone away, and
yes, our CHUs do that work, the very difficult or the privileged work also of working with families to see these are some strategies that you can use to get your students to bed earlier so that they can get to school every single day.
because I have a new student in my house, and he's a senior, and that's what start of school. You take your game out, the PS4, whatever it is, comes out the room, and the phone sits outside the door at 10 o'clock. And I mean,
That's great. Okay.
maybe it's a recommendation we can make to parents, because it does make a big difference. I did it with my other students also, because we don't, they will be in there all night. But parents have to realize we're still in control. We still buy them. We still pay for the Wi-Fi, the connectivity. So we're in control, and it's to their benefit to take it away from them.
All right, thank you for that. And I do maybe a clarifying question on my behalf. is in the same rounds with the students that have, for the number 2, which 92% were not identified. That was kind of off because when I went walking several times to go visit the students that were not coming to school, I was looking at the majority of the students had an IEP. And so I'm curious on what that looks like. Maybe it's for students that are in SARB, I guess, to differentiate those that were going into SARB versus those that are not coming to school to begin with, and maybe forced or so forth. So I'm just curious on what that, because the majority of the cases I was looking at did have an IEP, and you're saying 92 are not in the SARBs. So just like to clarify that maybe in the future once you're looking into that.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. You may proceed. I'm sorry we cut you off.
Good evening, board. My name is Earl Benjamin, and I would just want to like to share my experience as a community health and education worker with you guys, with you all. And working as a CHU is very rewarding. It helps me become a better leader in my community. It gives me the opportunity to participate and contribute to the decreased chronic absenteeism and help our credit deficient student achieve their goal in graduating from high school. I love to see the surprised faces of parents we serve as we explain the different programs and resources available in the school district. But my favorite one was going to Camp Silverwood on a 4-day adventure camp trip with youth services and the San Bernardino Police Department to help mentor our students. And this past Sunday, I went with Dr. Moss to the Los Angeles Chargers training camp to help chaperone some of our Rio Vista, King Middle School, and Cajon students. Being a community health and education worker is a unique position to have. We're out in the community, doing home visits, talking with parents to find out the why and what is hindering them from sending their children to school. It's given me a better understanding of the challenges and needs that they're faced with. And for example, a lot of our parents don't have transportation to get to the food distribution locations. And so we'll go and pick up the boxes and deliver it to them. And it's very rewarding to see the smiles on their faces, and just to be that positive outlook for the school district is a blessing in itself. I look forward to continuing this great work, and I would like to say thank you for giving me this opportunity and for letting us choose become the bridge between homeschool and community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Israel Orozco, and I'm part of the CHU program as well. And I'm gonna share some of the experiences that I have on being a CHU worker. As I have mentioned before, I will be discussing about the CHU program in San Bernardino School District and how both students and families have had positive impact while acquiring our services, and we're a bridge between the San Bernardino School District and families. To begin with, I would like to personally inform you that all the cases I have worked with are important to me, because I believe you must have 3 sentimentalness. Love, passion, and empathy. Therefore, I have chosen 2 cases to give you an example on how the program has made a difference to the students and families. I thought I would like to first give you a glimpse of the following steps that are required to commence the program services. First, we attend in a, as you guys know, a SAR meeting. We will meet both students and parents. Then we set up a home visit appointment. During the appointment, we provide motivational interview where we listen both students and parents' goals and discuss how their child's attendance can be improved. After the steps have begun, it is important to follow up with the student progress. In one of my visits, I came across with a student need to be a continuation school in order for him to earn his grades and receive his high school diploma. After I arrived at his residence, I introduced myself to both the students and parents. Then we sat down and discussed how he had too many absences and how his grades were far too low to acquire his high school diploma. During the home visit, the student began to yell at me and ask me if I know the reason why he wasn't attending school. And that he gone to his school to inform the current situation. The student then told me about the girlfriend was pregnant, and after she had given birth to a baby, passed away after 5 days. That really impacted myself. And that was the reason for such a poor attendance. After I informed him that I wasn't there to punish him for his absences, I told him that I was there to help him to improve, and I provide him with resources he needed to obtain a diploma. I also refer him to him and his girlfriend to a continuation school. Eventually, the student changed to a different school district, and even though I was no longer in his case worker, he contacted me in an email and told me that I influenced him into achieving his high school diploma and improving his attendance. My second case, it was about a student who stopped attending school. During the home visit, I met both the student and his mom. I then informed the parents that her child attended. The parent then confessed that she didn't know about her child's attendance because she had been busy working 2 jobs. During that moment, the mom became upset and asked the child why he had been missing school. He then explained that the reason he didn't attend was due to the fact that he needed new shoes because he was wearing them for 2 years. And then I immediately contacted his school, and the outreach worker helped me out to provide him with all the resources that he needed. And while being in his career pathway, he has shown me to give back to my community, and I decided to make the student a gift basket with the school essentials and little things that he needed to help him become successful. As of today, we're working currently on trying to obtain more resources to help the students and parents to improve attendance, to provide the really low-income students with the needed essentials that their families can afford. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you. Thank you.
So just in closing, as you can tell from the experiences of the CHUs, I mean, this is very similar to what we see in healthcare. We have large systems with a lot of resources, and we have communities that not always connect well with those resources. So what the community health workers and CHUs do is, because they're from those lived experiences in those communities, they can connect, and there are eyes and ears in the community. So we just thank you for the support for this program, and we ask for prayers as this model really continues to expand throughout our region here.
Right,
so thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Kelly, for your leadership, and Ms. Granillo and Mr. Benjamin, Mr. Roscoe, thank you for your leadership and work.
All right, and we do have board comments, clarifications. I'll start with Dr. Flores and move down this way.
Well, it's not really a clarification, it's just a commendation. Because I remember when we were working together, all of us, and dreaming. This is a dream come true. And you're proof of it, because that's what we wanted. We wanted to build your capacity, come back and work with our community, and partner with Loma Linda as a school district. And so this is just one of many more projects I think that we will have down the road. And I just, when you're telling me and sharing all the little things that we don't see every day, but we know that it makes a big difference to our kids. And the love, I mean, from both of you, the love that you shared about, the kids, and just that little bit of caring goes such a long way. I mean, it just touches my heart that you are there for our kids and for our parents, and that we as a board and Loma Linda together, all working for the betterment of our kids in our community. So I just want to thank you. Yeah.
All right, thank you. And then Ms. Rogers?
Thank you. Great presentation and good to see you. I just had a couple of questions. One, you mentioned incentives, or you mentioned events. How does the student earn that event, or are those the students that were chronically absent that you took on the trips that you mentioned?
Some of them was chronically absent, and also the kids was from U Court.
Okay.
The ones from Rio Vista, King Middle School, and Cajon. They were just good students.
But would it have been considered an incentive for the student for doing better, or their absenteeism has changed or is doing better?
The ones from Rio Vista and Cajon and King was in a mentoring program.
Okay.
There at the school, and the ones from Youth Court are the ones with the chronic absentees, or they did something wrong in school, like that. But
okay. And then my other question was, what would you consider the success? So you're going to a home, and so you're talking with the parents. What is the magic that happens? If you can just tell us a little bit more of that, because you're showing up and you're saying, I'm here because your student is absent. So kind of what happens there?
Well, you kind of get to know them, talk to them for a minute. The visit's not going to be too short because, I got some resource to offer you. So we kind of make conversation. And then that's when they get to opening up.
Okay.
Then they start to let me know what's the deal. I don't have transportation. My child is always sick. Oh, this is what I got to do. No way to get her to the doctor. Things like that.
And is it multiple visits? Or does this happen the first time, or there's sometimes it's the second or the third time?
If you're really good, it'll happen on the first time.
Okay, good.
It'll happen on the first time. But the second time, that's when we get to really knowing them, and now they want more resources, and so I connect them with the food distribution like you guys have at the Indian Springs and Lincoln Elementary, Jones. And so a lot of parents didn't even know about that, and so, and a lot of parents' phones are disconnected, so they don't get that that phone call.
Okay.
And
Thank you guys so much. I mean, this is important. So we
you're
really
welcome.
appreciate the partnership and the work that you're doing. And I know you all are parents or have been parents in the district. And I think the familiar faces are also, it makes a difference as well, connecting with our parents. So thank you for the work that you're doing.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you.
Madam President, I want to commend Earl and Mr. Orozco, because they went through the program and I got to witness your whole transformation. And it's just incredible to see you as leaders and to be here before us. And I'm going to cry, but I just think that it's just a miracle that you stand before us and now are very important contributing members and helping others. So and we provided that pathway board. Not only for them, but so many others. I don't know I think I went to the very first graduation. And how many people were there, Dr. Belliard?
The first graduation, I think it was about 40.
Yeah, about 40. And then I didn't go last year. Are we in our third year or fourth year?
For the CHU program?
For the CHU.
This is our fourth year.
Our fourth year, yeah. So, I mean, that's really great. Thank you.
And then Mr. Gallo.
Yeah, thanks, JC. And I remember this was part of what you brought up during your participation in our early strategic planning sessions, as your role as the community liaison for Loma Linda and everything. And so, it's just good to see actually this being put in place, and now you're seeing a tangible result here. So congratulations to the team.
All right, and then Mr. Tillman.
So, not just for me, but for people viewing too, I'm confused about the structure. So, CHU was a program that's supported and funded by who?
The district.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's The district provides the funding, Loma Linda manages the program, and the CHUs are actually contracted through a third-party, community-based organization called El Sol.
And then how many families do you guys actually service a year, or students?
So you have the final number. 293 students, yeah. And families, actually, 293 families. And there are actually other CHUs. Roshana's in the back also. So I think we need to give credit to the rest of the team. Lorena and
stand?
Lisbeth also. Roshana,
Could you
if you
stand?
can stand,
That's
please.
back there.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I know her and her husband, Mr. Benjamin, from doing APAC, the African American Parent Advisor. And he's been doing that for a long time. So, I mean, I commend the district too for involving parents, because it allows you to grow and do bigger and better things to benefit our community and our students. So it's a great program, and I commend you all. And, you know, as a politician, I go door-to-door campaigning. So I know what it's like to go to someone's house and knock on the door. And I get anxiety just, you know, hoping they're nice. Yeah. Right? You don't never know who's going to answer the door and what kind of dog they're going to have. But exactly. So I know what it's like going door to door, and you're going there knowing that you're going to talk about a touchy issue. So it takes a whole lot of confidence and stamina and believing in what you're doing, just to give you the energy, all of you the energy to do what you're doing. So I can't thank you enough. I commend you, and whatever the district can do to continue to support, that's what we want to do.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
And I also did it with what the board members say. Thank you so much for doing this. I know our community needs you, and I'm just so happy that we're actually doing this. Thank you so much, especially since it's the 4th year. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you, all of you. Have a good evening. Thank you. I think I may have seen this member of the public leave, but Miss Gina Mireles, are you still here? I think she might have left. We'll call the name again at the end of our public comments in case she returns. Board does welcome Acoma Unity Center. They are speaking regarding agenda item 8.44, but they'd like to address the board during open comments now. So welcome and good evening.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So we would like to thank you very much, Dr. Marsden, board, cabinet, for everything that you have done or allowed Acoma Unity Center to do in the past 2 years. We are so grateful. We are blessed to have some family members here. I would like to introduce our staff: Jennifer Sakar, Operations Manager; Rhonda Kelly, Admin Assistant; and I believe we have Darcel Kennedy, one of our board members; Dr. Lawson Bush, and if Ricky Van Johnson is here as well. So we're grateful that when we travel as family. So we got to have about 3 vans, 2 buses, about 3 cars. But we did have to leave a lot of children and family members at Acoma, and they all wanted to come to give you their thanks. So we did make cards for every one of you, and they thank you for all that you do for them as well. So I will get started. Thank you, Rhonda. So Acoma's reach has been great for the past 2 years. So what you're about to see here, click again, is in 2017, we reached about 10 different schools. 2018, we reached 25. 2019, this summer, Acoma had reached 43 schools, meaning in our recess and our regular after-school programming, we have 43 schools out of the 72 here in the district present at Acoma, and we are on track to reach where our goal is to reach all 72 by the end of 2020. So that is phenomenal. We're really excited about that. We utilize Peach Jar, we utilize door-to-door, we utilize outreach. We have teams at all the schools, definitely the ones that we are able to serve within the West Side. And we now are on the road. So Acoma's van will be hitting up Manuel Salinas this year, because we had some students that were being dropped off, and it's very close, and some were walking. So we decided that that is the school that we're going to first start to serve as far as offering transportation. So as you can see above, these are some of the programs that our that our Acoma Unity Center has established, and we are very proud of them. This upcoming school year, we're going to enter into a program called Life Skills. We have some sewing machines. We're going to have someone that's able to bring a car on the property to teach the children how to change oil, how to change a tire. We're looking into someone, organization who would even offer the children driver's ed, because that's not now it's something that families have to pay for. So all children aren't able to take a driver's ed class. Financial literacy is a program that we've had, but this year we're going to have a student that was in Acoma, actually in UNC 3 years ago. He just graduated from UC Irvine with his master's. He finished a master's degree in under 4 years. So he's going to be coming back and teaching financial literacy to our scholars, and we're going to definitely continue to teach and learn so that the children can learn beyond boundaries this year. So we would like to thank Dr. Flores for this Footsteps of Brilliance. We have been utilizing Footsteps of Brilliance this year with Dr. Gregory Spencer and his team, and we found this app to be very beneficial, so that we're going to be launching a literacy campaign in September with our parents who are have ESL children, and they also maybe English is a second language for them. Also, we'll be utilizing it for our parents that are working on their GEDs, and all of our scholars who have siblings, that are under the age of 7, because Acoma Unity Center does start at 7 years of age. So this year we had 23 children that participated every day in Footsteps to Brilliance. They were able to read 162,757 words, 472 books. They were able to reach all of their comprehension levels. There are a ton of games on there that really help the children to learn. So they are constantly utilizing those, and on the average, 81% on the average were able to retain everything that they were reading. And I think that that is remarkable. Our goal this year is to double that. We are going to also utilize it as some type of a gauge for our scholars that are 4th grade and above. So even though the app is made for the kinder through 3rd, we're going to be utilizing it on our 4th and 5th graders as well, just to make sure that they are at reading level. Tutoring and mentoring, one of the biggest highlights of our program. We even have some scholars that have gone off to college, and they come back and they take their time on their breaks and are able to tutor some of our students. We've also reached out to Cal State this year, Arroyo Valley and San Bernardino, utilizing their seniors, some of their avid students that to come in and also to help the scholars too with some additional tutoring. So with that, I'd like to bring up some of our students. Jerson, come on up, please. Douglas, come on up, please. This is Douglas Smith. Douglas Smith has attended De Vallejo last year, just 1 year. Douglas was brought to us by his grandmother and Mr. A, counselor at De Vallejo, because he felt that Douglas needed some extra tutoring and some assistance in mentoring. Douglas had been out of school for 2 years, and throughout this last school year, his 8th grade year, Douglas was able to make honor roll. Isn't that wonderful?
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Hello. My name is Douglas Smith. My age is 13. I am a student of Pacific High School. I just started yesterday, and also a scholar of Acoma Unity Center. And I have been at Acoma since like how many years? Well, not years, almost a year.
I'll be a year in December.
A year in December, yeah. And sorry.
No, you good.
Well, since I have been at Acoma, my grades have reached a level that haven't before. Like, I'm starting to improve. I made honor roll, and I have a 3.43 GPA now. Thank you. And that's thanks to everybody at Acoma, like Mama Kim, Miss Mrs. Rhonda, and more I will name, but it's a lot.
That's okay. You got it. Congratulations.
And I'd like to thank the scholars, the upper and lower scholars at Acoma, for helping me also, like my friends, my sisters, my family, and my mentor, Mr. Micah, and the late, I call it the upper girl scholars.
Mentors.
Yeah, and Mr. I also, which is the
She's the Upper Scholar Girls mentor.
upper scholars girl mentor, and Miss Tequila and everyone. And I'd like to thank you for having me here and actually listening to me for
Of
like
course.
more people. And
Oh my goodness.
Good job, baby. You did. Thank you.
thank you a lot. For
Thank you,
having
Douglas.
me
There you go.
here.
We're so proud of you.
So Douglas is our most improved academic scholar at Acoma. Good job, baby. Okay.
Congratulations.
And here we have Jerson. Jerson is our most improved behavior scholar.
Okay. Mr. Kasi,
Mr. Kashif, that's his mentor.
that is my mentor. I love my family. And I got adopted.
You got what? And he got adopted.
Oh my God. Congratulations. Wonderful.
I try to learn math.
You trying to do math? Okay.
Try to count 200.
Yes.
Try to read. Yes. I try to read. I love my mom.
Oh, yeah.
Where's his mom?
Oh, sorry. I just want to thank Acoma for everything they've done for us as a family. When I signed up Jerson for Acoma, I didn't tell them he was special needs. I needed to work and I needed to find a daycare. Then Mama came, she was like, something wrong with him? No, nothing's wrong. He was doing tantrums and his behaviors were bad. He's 8, but he has mild intellectual disability. They've evaluated him and they say he's a high autistic. And he's been really good ever since he goes to coma. He's just, his self-esteem has gone up. He fights a little less. And he wants to go to coma even on the weekends. He said, Mom, take me to coma. I said, no, you're staying home. But thanks to Acoma and Mama Kim for the patience that they have with us.
Right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Jerson also has a behavior specialist that comes to Acoma 3 times a week. Well, they're asking to come 3 times a week now. They were coming twice sometimes, but now they're asking for an hour every other day. So we have approved that, and we're happy to do that. Also, I will bring up Danilo and his mom. Come on, Danilo.
Oh, yes, could you please? Thank you.
Danilo is also autistic, and so Danilo came to summer break. It was his first time at Acoma, and he first couple days he just sat there, didn't really want to get involved, and then we found out that he is a dancing machine.
Oh, okay.
If you go to Acoma's website, you will see Danilo in the center of everyone. It was his idea, let's have a dance off. And then when we found out what Danilo could do, it was amazing. So then Danilo only wanted to dance all summer. But he went from a student that sat there in the chair for the first couple of days, and then we had to look for him. Where is Danilo? Danilo would be in every room, everywhere, visiting everybody. And so he has a favorite mentor, right? What's her name?
Miss Sarah.
Mr. Rye?
Mr. Right.
Yes. So do you want to tell him how fun you had at Acoma?
Good.
Good?
Yes.
Okay. What else?
I love Mama Kim too.
Okay.
And Mr. Wright.
And Mr. Wright, okay.
I love Acoma. I want to go back.
You want to go back?
Yeah,
Okay.
for summer.
For the summer. You're
Yes.
coming back. Okay. All right. Thank you,
Yeah.
Danella.
Thank you for taking the time to hear from us, the parents. We're greatly appreciative to Miss Mama Kim and her staff, and just the quality that they have for this program that's free to us, the parents who work. I work in the San Bernardino community. I found out about the program from a coworker, and my kids, they loved every second. I mean, I can't even say how she helps the kids take ownership of the community center. She gives them jobs, which I like, because I like when I pull up and I see the kids that they're taking pride in their community and this center and protecting it. So I appreciate her and all the wonderful staff for what they do for my kids. They're always safe, they're educated, they're doing STEM, the flower, I love the flower garden. Everything that you guys are doing, please keep doing it. Please keep funding this program. We need it.
Wow.
I love you. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Okay. All right, skip that. Wonderful. Moving right along to the world of arts. This is definitely one of my favorites. At Acoma, you know, we have been privileged to receive funding from San Bernardino Fine Arts Commission for the past 2 years. Actually, now we can make it 3. We just received a grant where we will be able to do, we've used that grant in the past to do African drum and dance and to take our children to see the theater. We've been to the symphony last year. We went to see In the Heights, Alvin Ailey in Costa Mesa at the Sagerstrom Theater. So, but this year we thought we wanted to do something a little bit different, get the kids a little bit more involved, and so we thought that we would do a documentary. So the children are going to be able to be the producers, editors, interviewers, and the way that we came up with this was that when we were on our way back from, yes, I'm sorry, the observatory in Los Angeles. And the children were looking out the window and they saw a tent city. So they asked us, what is that? Mama Kim, are they camping? And I'm like, no, baby, they're not camping. They live there. And so they were all in awe. And so nobody went to sleep all the way home. They were constantly asking questions. So I asked Ms. Darcell, who is our counselor at Acoma, we need to do something about this because now it has triggered, you know, thoughts and questions, and maybe we can invite them to become part of our solution. There's a lot of folks and a lot of organizations out here trying to solve the issues of homelessness, but have we ever asked the children, what do they think? What kind of ideas can they create to solve that? So that's how we came up. We applied for the grant, we were granted it, and we're so grateful to the City of San Bernardino and the Fine Arts Commission for that. So we will begin in September our work that will lead us to a very small showing at Acoma, and then Sturgis Theater will be our final showing, which we'll be able to as well charge an entry fee to raise some funds to put back into the program because we do have to have matching funds in order to apply for the grant. So we're very, very, very excited about our children taking the world of arts to a different level. But with the world of arts, we also want to thank Dr. Hill for the tie-dye article. That was really, really special. So special that we're asking parents, we're going to invite our parents to come in and do a tie-dye shirt. Because if you read the article, then you'll understand that the world, that the art, like being able to create something where there's no mistakes, right? Your design is unique to all others. And so it's very special. The kids want to take them home wet, and I got to tell them, no, you got to wait a day. Don't take them home. Your parents are going to be mad at me, and all types of things like that. So Children's Fund also has an art contest that our children participated in. And what would you know? That we would have 3 winners. Grand Marshal winner, come on up, Felix. Give it up for Felix. Grand Marshal winner was Felix. And Ilea Webster, she was also a winner. These 2 scholars were able to talk to the funders, the folks who put on the program. Children's Fund had them as their special guests. Felix threw out the first ball, the first pitch.
Wow,
and
congratulations.
Ilea sat on a panel where they asked her about her dream. So the essay was, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they had to draw that. So I'll let Felix talk about that. Your name? You got a card.
My name is Felix Cavalera. and I go to Rio Vista Elementary School.
Do that part first.
I won an art contest at Oklahoma. My drawing was about what I want to be when I grow up, and that is a canine police officer. And I love Oklahoma because they help me and my family with food, clothes. They help me with my school projects. They are not just after school program, they're our family.
Wow, that's great.
Thank you, Betty. So now we have Miss Ilea Bell Webster, and I believe you won first place. Felix was Grand Marshal. I think did you win first place? Nevertheless. So your name and school.
My name is Aaliyah. My age is 8, and I go to Manuel Salinas Elementary Creative Arts. And my drawing was about what I wanted to be when I grow up. I wanted to be a fashion designer for homeless people because homeless people don't really get clothes like that, and I really cared, and Acoma helps me with more confidence and to learn more about my history and my education. So Oklahoma is more like my second home.
Oh, wonderful.
Good job. Good job, Olivia.
Thank you so much. Congratulations to you both.
Yes, you can go sit down.
Thank you for sharing.
Okay, so moving on. Let's see, Girl Scouts. Please come up, Girl Scouts. Let's go, ladies. Move quickly. So, Dr. Hill, thank you again for showcasing the Girl Scouts. This hasn't been a troop on the west side of San Bernardino for a very long time. So this is Troop 1419. Give it up for Troop 1419. Very excited. San Gorgonio Council has been ever so, loving to Acoma and these girls who mostly attend Rio Vista. It makes it easier for us to have a troop because they are already there, right? So we don't have to wait for anybody to get there. So it is wonderful that San Gorgonio Council thought enough to provide all of them with their registration fees, provided them with their vests and their patches, and then they had the opportunity this summer for free to attend Gen Cyber Camp at Cal State San Bernardino.
Wonderful.
And none of the girls had ever been to camp before, so that was really, really, really remarkable. And the organizations that they got to meet, like Google and Facebook and Bank of America, and there was a couple of them. Hopefully you guys remember those other ones. But step right up here, please, ladies. They were also the only troop that was invited to meet the funders at the end of the week too. So that was really wonderful.
Good evening. My name is Zoe Calvin. I am a 6th grader at Holcomb Elementary. I also attend Acoma Unity Center. I'm a Girl Scout. I'm a Girl Scout with Troop 1419. And I had the opportunity to attend Gen Cyber Camp at Cal State San Bernardino this summer. I also learned many things regarding Girl Scout and technology. I learned how to keep my social media safe, how to command and fly drones. I also learned the importance of making new friends and valuing the ones I currently have. My troop members and I are very thankful to our school board, Girl Scouts, and Acoma. Thank you.
Wonderful.
It's so hard. They asked you what did you like the best and why did you like us?
So my name is Joelle Jackson, and Norton Elementary School. Before I went to Gen Cyber, I didn't know much about technology. So when I attended to Gen Cyber, I was kind of nervous, but then at the end of the week, I was glad I went, and I learned how to keep my social media saved and how to code and find secret messages and photos and other stuff.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
So next we'll bring up our scholars with our industrial robotics class. Was it industrial robotics? This was our very, very first industrial robotics. It was a 10-week course. We're probably going to narrow that down a little bit to about 5 or 6 because we did begin to lose some of our children. So it might have been just a little bit too much for them, but we're going to fine tune that because we want more of the class to be able to stay, participate, and graduate. Come on up, come on up, come on up. So here we have Miss Wilson. There you go, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Kiana Wilson, and I attended the robotics class. I go to Norton Science Language Academy. I speak 2 languages, Spanish and English, and I like the class because it helped me. I learned how to code and how to use a robot from our teacher, Mr. Nashbe.
Muy bien.
Hello, my name is Liliana Wilson. I am one of the students from Acoma Unity Center Robotics Program, and I'm 12 years old. I go to Norton Science Language Academy, and what we learned at the robotics program is how to code a robot, and the language of it is called Spell Plus, which the computer language was created by the company of Epson. And the actual robot that we programmed is called SCARA, which stands for Selective Complement Articulated Robot Arm. And that is it.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
That's enough. Come on, Elijah. So your name, your age, and your school.
Hi, my name is Elijah, and my age is 10. I go to Manuel Salinas Elementary School, Creative Arts, and I learned so many things this year. I learned how to do technology. I'm learning how to do math and reading and writing. I did Rice's Passage with Dr. Nana, and I had been good this year, and I'm in 5th grade now. So I had learned how to make robots with software, and yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's amazing. Thank you.
My name's Aaliyah. My age is 8, and I go to Salinas Elementary School, Creative Arts. And what I learned in robotics is how to code a robot and how to move it with a certain code, and how to use the software. And it made my math and reading better.
Ooh,
That's amazing. Thank
good.
you.
Good job, you guys. Good job. And now we have Miss Jennifer Sakara, who will talk to you about our Young Legislators program.
Good evening, Superintendent Marsden, President Abigail, Dr. Mother Hill, and Assistant Superintendents and board members. My name is Jennifer Sakara, and I'm the Operations Manager at Acoma Unity Center. I've been with this organization and UNC for the past 3.5 years, so I do want to personally thank you all for your continued support, for not only for this organization, but for the scholars we all serve. So I wanted to share with you our civic engagement program. So since 2017, we've actually partnered with YAP and Alpha Alliance with Abigail Medina to host this youth civic engagement workshop. In 2018, our scholars actually co-moderated the mayoral forum here in San Bernardino. And these events actually led our scholars to sworn in at the 47th District as young legislators with Assemblywoman Eloise Gomez Reyes. And we actually have one of our young legislators right here, Shayla Whitaker.
Hello. Hello. My name is Shayla Whitaker. I'm 16 years old. I go to Middle College High School, and I was chosen to be a young legislator for this year. Legislators is a program for high school students who have an interest in government and creating bills. So next year in February, we will be going to Sacramento to pass a bill. I feel like ACOMA has given me many opportunities, and it also helps with my grades. When I went to ACOMA, I used to be a big procrastinator, and in college, it's very hard. So my mentor, Ms. Sarai and Ms. Anissa, really helped me in trying to get me to do my work right then and there. And Mama Kim, Miss Jen, Miss Rhonda, and all the other ACOMA staff also helps me.
That's wonderful.
Hi, my name is Renee Alcaraz, and I am a parent of one of the kids that go to ACOMA. My son, Michael Diaz, attends Cajon High School. He's a sophomore. He's been an excellent student. He went to North Park, he went to Cesar Chavez, and now he's at Cajon. I ran into ACOMA by accident, and I'm really grateful that I did. They have provided a lot of good opportunities for my son as well as the other children that attend the school. My son Michael attends the Young Legislators with the Eloise Reyes through the 47th District. He has volunteered in several events. He took a toxic tour in the Inland Empire. After that, we were invited by Mary Valdemar at Valley College to speak on the air pollution issue in the Inland Empire, which my son Michael Diaz did. I spoke on the issue as well. My grandson that attends ACOMA also spoke on the issue, and he's 8. He attends North Park Elementary. And also, it's teaching the kids how to be involved in the community and know that their voice matters. In conjunction with that, my son has also participated for the second year in the Rites of Passage that ACOMA has an opportunity available for the young men that teaches them leadership skills, discipline, the importance of education, the importance of family, and giving back to the community. He just recently graduated from that the second year. Another program that my son was able to participate through the hard work and diligence of Mr. A, that's a counselor at De Vallejo and partners up with ACOMA as well. My son, Michael Diaz, was chosen out of 170 applicants, where only 40 are chosen every year to participate at the University Cal State Irvine, the Paul Mirage School of Business.
Time. Go ahead. You can go ahead and finish.
To participate in the program. It's a financial literacy program. So he was able to stay there for a week. Everything paid, all the classes. They teach the kids financial literacy, budgeting, earning, stocks, bonds. They help them create their own financial plan. However, that program was only warranted and addressed to students in Orange, Long Beach, Santa Ana, LA. But through the help of Mr. A, he was able to talk to the CEO and was able to open that to the Inland Empire students. And out of that opportunity, 7 students were afforded from the Inland Empire, this area, to be able to participate in that program this year. So I'm very grateful for that. In addition, with that program, I reached out to Mr. Danny Tillman. Thank you very much. He was able to help the ACOMA students partner with Pacific High School Threads program to help those students be able to get business clothes, professional business clothes, because they were sitting in professional business meetings. Part of their education there, they were able to go to a $1 trillion company and sit at the top executive levels where they couldn't even have phones to take pictures of anything because of that's how high they were in there. So it gave them an opportunity to learn that. They went to Taco Bell Corporation. They learned the business aspect of that. So it's a very great opportunity that was given to them and afforded to them. Also, my son, Michael Diaz, is able to participate in the intern program and was paid a stipend for working, so he's learning how to work and earn. And I know it's time, so I just want to hurry up. I just want to say thank you to everybody that is affording these programs. Please keep funding this program. I think I've brought like 7 or 8 other students there from everywhere that I possibly can. I cannot say enough about this program. And just to be just really quick, children are a product of their environment. You are a product of your environment. I am living proof of that because I had a mentor in San Bernardino School District who didn't give up on me. And because of him, I am still giving to the community. I'm fighting for the community. I'm fighting for other kids because of that mentor, what he did for me. Had he not continued with me, who knows what had happened to me. Honestly, there's a teacher in this school district. His name was Mario Torres. Okay? He never gave up on me, and he was a mentor to other students. And because of him, I chose education. I didn't stay in education because I make more money what I'm doing now, but I do work for the Workers' Compensation Appeals Board, and I give information, and so I'm out there. I'm out there with a purpose. And this right here, this school, is the purpose that's going to make this Inland Empire change drastically. Please know that to be true. Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, I'll just say thank you very much, and we appreciate your time and allowing Miss Renee to finish what she had to say. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming tonight.
And then we have Ms. Rogers, and I'll go ahead with Dr. Flores right after.
Mama Kim.
No, Dr. Flores, it's Ms. Rogers. And
So
then,
I will say briefly,
sorry.
this was a great presentation. We love so much when we can hear the voices of the students, and it was genuine, it was great, and they're happy. But we always like to honor those that come before us that say that they're interested in law enforcement. So who was the student? It was so many.
Felix.
Will you come to the podium, and then someone's going to join you? Our chief Polino is going to come and make a special presentation. So we look forward to you being a future law enforcement. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Great. Thank you. And then Dr. Flores.
Now, I just want to thank Mama Kim for all your work and your love, and all the people, your staff, the parents, and the kids. And it's a testimony of how we work together, everybody together. And I would like to see this, as a board member, this to grow even more and have a bigger facilities and provide more services for our kids. What do you think, guys? Yeah? Yeah. And it's an honor. It's an honor to be in your presence and to see the kids, to see all your work that you do, the love that you have for our kids and our community. And and you're very blessed, blessed to be
Dr.
where
Flores.
all of you
Thank
are.
you.
So thanks.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for all your commitment.
Might I just say one thing about the scholars and the community that we serve, that if the district and others, we need to concentrate on homelessness, because we lose, with school just starting yesterday, we know that we've already lost 5 families, and that is, that's not something that we take very lightly. Ms. Rogers 2 years ago spoke with a young lady who talked about having showers at the middle school level. That family's been homeless for 1 year. Mom had a stroke last October. She's been in rehabs that took her even out of the city. She now has made it back to Redlands. Nevertheless, her family is still in the motel on Mount Vernon, and she has 6 children. So that's a really, really big issue, because we just can't tell you how many families that we have to give the end of the night dinner to, and those that are actually sleeping in their cars and stuff as well. So housing is just critical. So when we talk about absenteeism, yet homelessness is really a lot of that is due to homelessness. So if we could just work together to try to figure out how are we going to create more housing. And because Miss Vicki Lee, we love Miss Vicki Lee. I don't know what we would do without Miss Vicki Lee. And every family that has come to us and we find out that what's going on, she does do the very best that she can. But what she cannot do is create housing alone. So if we could just all work together to handle that crisis, I appreciate it.
Right. No, thank you for bringing that up, and that's crucial for not only San Bernardino but in the surrounding areas as well. I do want to mention that just the heartfelt stories from the students and the parents. I mean, just being adopted, just that simple fact. And I'm proud of the work that you're all doing. Yes. And then we have Mr. Tillman, and right after Tillman, Dr. Hill, did you have a comment as right off? Okay.
And thank you all for the presentation, and to the students, congratulations on great presentations. What you say, we can hear and feel. So it means a lot to the board to hear your testimonies. And on your item, I want to make a correction, because it says it's going to serve 185 African American students for Rio Vista names of schools. But I know you guys are more diverse than that. You don't serve just African American students, because I've had testimonies from people that I work with that love their students be there, who happen to be Hispanic and other ethnicity. So we should make a correction on that, because I know you serve anybody that comes to your door. So I just want to make the correction and just commend you on the work that you have done in servicing the young people in San Bernardino. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Hill?
Thank you. And Mama Kim, I just want to say thanks to you, your staff, the students, and the parents, and the testimonies. But I know the case you're talking about, and just want to give you some comfort that I've been involved with the family that you were just talking about, and we're making some progress, not as much as we want, but we won't give up on them. Just want you to know that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Marsden?
Yes, thank you very much for all that you do. Thank you for coming tonight. Great testimonies from our students and families. Board now welcomes Trevon Martin with a CSBA update. So welcome, Mr. Martin. We left, okay. Board welcomes Ms. Devonna Robertson, Black Parent Summit. Good evening, and thank you for your patience, and welcome.
Good evening. My name is Devonna Robertson, and I'm here this evening as the District African American Advisory Council President, and this is
Mia Cooper, Vice President.
And I just wanted to, we wanted to take this opportunity to come and share a little bit about July 20th, which San Bernardino School District, in partnership with the District African American Advisory Council, hosted our very first Black Parent Summit.
Great.
I want to start with my sincere apologies for any frustration and or confusion that any of our parents and family members may have experienced. Your concerns were heard, and we will do much better in the future. With that done and out the way, I would like to thank each family member who attended in support of their scholars, who showed up to hear Brother Majadi, as well as Dr. Elliott. Got a lot of amazing feedback all the way up till yesterday about how impactful Dr. Elliott and Majadi was. I would also like to thank our vendors, some of them in the audience, Akuma being one of them, volunteers and any of the SBCUSD team members. We had support from teachers, principals, and other staff. DAC thanks you. Our board members, Dr. Hill, Medina, and especially Gwen Rogers. Back in 2014, after coming back from the Underground Railroad trip, her and I rode out to Moreno Valley to experience their Making Hope, well, it's not Making Hope, Hope Conference or whatever it is that they host. And when we were coming back, I remember being on the 215 freeway and us talking about creating something like that for San Bernardino Unified School District. And I wasn't even a part of DAC yet. And so to see that come to fruition is a beautiful thing. Would also like to thank Dr. Marsden, Dr. Mitchell, Chief Paulino, Dr. Perez, Menares, and Jane, how do you say your last name? Huh? Crispy Tacos. Tell me how to say it correctly. Christakos. All right. And then I apologize for anyone that I may have missed. And even Dr. Marsden and Dr. Mitchell being out there in suit and ties, I felt bad for them. It was hot, but they came, they showed up. Dr. Menards and Dr. Perez in heels and all of that. But they engaged with our families, and we appreciate that. I would like to thank our DAC officers for being a part of the vision. And last but not least, I would also like to thank the ETSA department, our former director, Dr. Brown, our new director, Dr. Greer, Sharon Ellis, Roxanne Williams, Tamika Casey, and Dr. Shelton. This was our first. It will not be our last, and our Black Parents Summit will only get better from here. And I have 2 minutes left, so I also, when I was back there, like, can I do this? I can veer off. I was back there like, I want to talk about Akuma too, because I've also had the pleasure of reaping the benefits of this community, this family that Akuma has. My son was a part of Rites of Passage. Mama Kim, I'm a lactation consultant and a doula. Mama Kim opened up her center to me to offer free birthing classes and lactation classes to women in the community. So whatever Akuma is doing, they're doing amazing things, and I pray that the school district continues to support them. So thank you for your time.
Of course.
And thank you for your leadership. Sincerely appreciated. Board welcomes Miss Linda Hart. Topic is School First. Good evening and welcome.
Well, after all that, going up behind them. Anyway, to Madam Chair, Madam Vice, and to the board, I'm just here to kind of wrap things up. You know, as they say, there's two sides to every story, and in the middle is truth. So anyway, I'm here just to briefly talk about, to wrap up, the outreach that we did over at Jones Middle School with the African American parents. We were involved in working with 32 out of the 40, the 8 or he either have moved. Again, when you talk about homelessness, many of them were homeless, and so we were able to go and meet them where they live. I also want to be able to show some data, because I believe data tells the truth in all things. So I'm going to pass out to you the data. Remember last year when we came and we showed you the data from King Middle School, where we were showing the decrease or the increase of absentees. And so what happened is, in your database, it shows the year after. So the 2018 data I do have for King Middle School. And I'm going to share. We would like to think the 10% decrease that you see had to do with the fact that we did target that year for African American students for that particular school year. Jones data, I believe, will be coming out, real lifetime data. I'm still trying to get the update data for 2019 from Jones Elementary School as well. But here I have, you can either come by the office or I can pass these out to you, are actually all intakes where we met face-to-face with each parent that we were able to touch out of the 32 parents that out of the 40 that we were able to touch. And now what I would like to do is to be able to show you some data that I pulled out. I just love data because I think it tells the picture about all things, when either you're making an impact or if you're not making an impact. So here are the data increases for the schools, along with the data percentage for African American chronic absentees. I'm not going to name off the schools, but I'm going to show you the data that I was able to pull off. What I found was the disturbing increases for the increase of chronic absentees for African American students. And so when we take a look at all the programs and working with the CHU and the other organizations that want to come and do the outreach, I hope that looking at this data, they can take a look at the schools that really going to need their help. Because when you talk about an increase in 1 year, that's troubling for me because I'm thinking of all the great programs that we have. If we have that number of people, students not going to school, then they're not going to be able to obtain in or access the information in all the wonderful programs that you have. And for you, Danny, the numbers there, if we talk about dollars, how much money, when we talk about this coming out of the district, if we're looking at the increases of some of the schools that I'm showing you there. So hopefully that data can help you. And if there's any way that our organization can continue to help you, we would love to be able to do that so we can show at least we can help reduce those increases that you're looking at.
What does the increase mean?
Okay, the one in the middle or the increase.
What is increase in what?
For instance, when you look at the middle column, that is the increase of absentees at that particular school. And on the end, that's the percentage of the percentage chronic total students at that school.
So from year to year, from 1 year to the next?
Right, that's 2018.
So from 2017 to 2018,
yeah,
I had an increase of chronic.
2017, 18, that's off of your 2018. Remember, you guys go back a year, so that's 2017, 18. That's the data that shows up on your dashboard for the increase in number of absentees at each school. I actually have to go in because when you really look at the data, if you don't go in and really take a look, it kind of gives you a facade because, for instance, it'll say 25% it'll be in the orange. But when you go into the data and look specifically for African American, they're in the red. So I am kind of like working with data, so I really go in and investigate. So hopefully, again, that data can help. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hart.
Thank you.
Board welcomes Ms. Lynn Ware, notifying the Board of Welfare Office in Davidson School District Neighborhood. Thank you and good evening. Thank you for your patience.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Dr. Marsden, President Medina, and Board. My name is Lynn Ware, and I am a lifelong resident of San Bernardino and currently reside within the Davidson Elementary School District. Tonight, I come before you in my capacity as President of the Muscogee Neighborhood Association, whose boundaries surround Davidson School. I'm accompanied tonight by Joyce Seeger, who is the President of Blair Park Neighborhood Association, whose boundaries also encompass a large portion of the Davidson district. Our neighborhood associations have developed a collaborative relationship with Davidson's principal and staff over the years, working together on various projects such as a formal flag ceremony, surrendering a tattered old American flag for a brand new one, excuse me, coordinating a highly successful safety disaster preparedness fair on the Davidson campus. And currently, we're partnering with Davidson and County Public Health to implement a Safe Routes to School walkability initiative. We are here tonight to inform you of a county welfare office building project located on the corner of 27th Street and Little Mountain Drive within the Muscogee neighborhood and within the Davidson school boundaries. This office site is in close proximity to Davidson. It is within 0.4 miles, 4/10 of a mile. We believe it will negatively impact the quality of life for neighborhood residents, and important to you as school board members, we expect it will negatively impact Davidson School, its students, its parents, and its staff. We have only just recently learned that the intended use for this office will be to provide welfare transitional assistance department client services, which is contrary to the belief by the city planners and the public that it was going to be an HR administration building. In fact, the county actually plans to relocate the TAD office from its current site at Highland and Massachusetts, which is in a business district. If this welfare office project is allowed to go forward, we expect the following: an increase in a transient population that will congregate and become entrenched in this area. And we see this as directly impacting the security at Davidson School, which has already experienced transients coming onto campus during and after school hours. There may even be a financial impact if security guards are eventually required. We also expect increased crime, which translates into decreased personal and property safety. And of course, we expect increased traffic, cars and buses delivering clients to and from this facility, this proposed facility, and increased foot traffic throughout the neighborhood. Pedestrian safety will most surely be jeopardized. We believe this project is a bad fit for our neighborhood and for Davidson School, for students, parents, and staff. We will be challenging this welfare office project, and we feel responsible to alert this school board body of our concerns. We invite any of you to attend a neighborhood meeting, which we are hosting to discuss this issue. The developer, county, and city officials have been invited. It will be held this Thursday, August 8th at 6:30 on the Davidson campus. Thank you for this opportunity to present our concerns to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. What time is that meeting? 6:30 p.m. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for your comments tonight. I believe these are all the public comments. I don't believe Ms. Mirella's rejoined us, and so those are all the public comments tonight, Board.
Okay, great. We'll go ahead and move forward. Let's go to 7.1, report by San Bernardino Teachers Association. Seeing
No
none.
report.
Let's go ahead and 7.2, report by California School Employees Association. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Is this with CSEA?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful.
Good evening.
Good
President
evening.
Medina, Superintendent Marsden,
And if you could say your name?
Board of Directors. My name is Matthew Shane Dishman. I am the first Vice President of CSEA for the state of California. Go ahead.
My name is Adam Weinberger. I'm the association's second vice president for the board of directors, CSEA.
And I've taken over as, and you probably are aware, as the administrator of Chapter 183. I've taken up residence in San Bernardino. And we'll welcome. And we just want to make sure that, you know, that a little history about myself, just so you know. I've been a policeman for 32 years. I want to especially thank Chief Polino for meeting with me today and helping me try to get situated in the town. Thank you, Chief. But we just want to make sure that we're on a path of rebuilding from this point forward. And yes, I wear this hair all the time. So we will be working very closely with the district. We hope that we can have a resolution to the pending contract negotiations very quickly. And we just look forward to working with everybody. And thank each and every one of you, as I look at each and every one of you, for the job that you do every day. Thank you very much. It's nice to meet you.
Thank you. Likewise. Likewise. And
Thank you. And thank you for your leadership. It's appreciated.
okay, let's go to report report by Communication Workers of America.
I
7.3.
believe no report.
7.4, report by San Bernardino School Police Officers Association.
I also believe no report.
Nope. Okay, 7.5, comments by board members, and I will start with Dr. Wyatt if he has any comments. Okay, Dr. Flores.
Dr. Marston, I wanted to ask, maybe this is directed towards Dr. Bettis. I wanted to update on the Positive Impact Stand Strong Domestic Violence program that was presented by Ms. Carla Quebec last time.
Dr. Flores, we have staff in contact with them now.
You do?
I do.
Because, I think we should pursue it because it's, domestic violence is not reported. And if we can have something for our kids that, is there for them, I think it would be very beneficial for them so that we could address that traumatic experience. And then, Dr. Marsden, I'd like to know when we will have the Latino Task Force scheduled for 2019-20. When will we have that
Sure, I can
available
have
to
Dr.
us?
Mitchell answer that question. His team is working on that.
Yeah, we have the dates, Dr. Flores, if you want to take them down.
Pardon me?
We have the dates now if you want to take them down.
Okay, I'd like to, because I'm being asked by community members.
Sure.
And so it would be nice if we could put it out there.
We're working
maybe
on communication
on
now
our
for-
web and so forth. And
Yeah, the first meeting is not till September, but we're working on communication.
September?
Yes.
When is the first meeting?
So you want to know the dates?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, first Latino Task Force is September 23rd.
September 23rd,
Yes, November 18th,
November 18th.
and November is,
Are those Mondays?
yes.
Yes, okay.
February 24th,
Mhm.
and April 26th.
Okay.
And we're working on a communication now that should go out in the next week.
Okay. Yeah, I've been getting calls.
Thank
and
you.
Texts. Okay,
Happy to do
so
so.
September 23rd is the first one.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. All right. Next, I guess this is directed to you, Dr. Marsden, but I know that Dr. Volkemer is the one that's been heading this. I wanted to have an update on the evaluations of our programs that we have had this year, especially for our students. And I think Ms. Rogers, well, all of us have wanted to know a status. Mr. Gallo, myself, I think Dr. Wyatt is also.
Dr. Volkemer speak to that.
In terms of, where are you at? We'd like an update in terms of the evaluations of the different programs.
Happy to have Dr. Volkemer speak to that.
Okay.
We'll be happy to provide that up. Sorry, struggling with my voice. We'd be happy to provide that update for you and give you an update as to where we are in process and any specific actions we've taken with any particular programs.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, clearly we saw with COMA the testimonies in terms of their evaluation and so forth. But in terms of the metrics that we need to say that, where are we at with all of our, services to our kids. I really am curious about that. And then lastly, in terms of, next to the last, I think Ms. Kostakos was going to provide us the amount of carryover, right, in September, in terms of how much carryover we had in our budget.
Correct, in September.
In September, okay. So just saying that. And then I want to welcome all the students and the teachers and staff and administrators to first day, or yesterday, of school. Everybody was excited. I took my granddaughter to school today, and it was a madhouse, but a happy madhouse. And everybody's really joyful and happy. So I think we're off to a good start. I haven't heard any complaints about air conditioning, so I think we're good there. I'm sure you have, but I haven't heard any from anyone. So are we good, Dr. Marsden? Are we good? Yeah, we're good. Okay, so I'm happy to hear that. So thank you, staff, and thank you for all the board correspondence. And it helps a lot in terms of what we need to know. Thank you.
All right, Dr. Hill?
Thank you, Madam President. I want to first and foremost say to Dr. Marsden and the cabinet, thank you for the great job. Gwen and I, of course, we need to provide some professional development training because the people we had at King yesterday, they weren't great mom mobbers and men mobbers. So we act crazy. They look at us, say it's so nice to the kids, saying, thank you. And we were yelling and dancing and high-fiving and hugging and all this other stuff. But we did have a great time at Martin Luther King. But Saturday night, I had an opportunity to go to Cal State to Gear Up's dinner. They took 102 students to the UC9 and the CSU, the 23 campuses, and they put together their own books. So I'll pass those around so that you could take a look at them. And I just want to commend them for what they did. And all 102 of those were San Bernardino City kids. For all the people who give them backpacks, want to say thank you. Dale, I know you're going to talk about Gathering of Excellence. Really appreciate hearing from the students. Summer graduation was great. I want to just mention one thing about the PAL program that Mr. Benjamin talked about. They have a group of young men from youth court that they take 1 week, but they also have a group of young women they take. One young man from Arrowview was a part of youth court. And of course, he said he was not going to go to Silverwood Lake and hang out with no police officers for a week. But when he got there, he wasn't aware they were going to take his cell phone, because he said, as soon as we get here, I'm going to call my mama to come pick me up. So he had no idea they were going to take his cell phone. He said, but by noon, he was so glad they had taken his cell phone, and he can't wait until next year to go back. He had such a great experience. And he said, I know it's not cool to be a knucklehead. He said, I'm going to do better in school this year. So that program that is put on by San Bernardino City Police is absolutely wonderful. And other than that, I just want to say to our parents and to our students, have a good year. My newspaper articles are coming out on Fridays and not Sundays, so I hope you get a chance to read them to the students, because there's 40 students. I will begin writing about the students really soon. The one coming up is about the village, asking the students how they can be part of the village. But with that, I just want to say to everybody, let's have a good year. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Dr. Hill. Ms. Rogers?
Thank you. I just want to say welcome back to everyone, and I think we're all on the same page because everything I would have said or could have said has been said. So welcome back. Looking for an exciting year. Abigail and I did have that was so impromptu for us, but as I said, it comes from the heart when you're not staged and you're able to just do and say. And so we're grateful that communication made sure, as Janie was making faces at us when we were actually recording that. But thank you all. Let's have a great year.
And we were as is. Great. Mr. Gallo?
Yeah, just one thing. I've been appointed to the statewide advisory committee for writing the new CTE's state plan. And we do have some documentation. Dale, do we have any other folks participating in that from our district? It might be good to actually
Mitchell
get
can
some
maybe answer
coordinated
that.
comments.
Dr. Mitchell, do you know the answer to that?
I didn't catch the question. Can you repeat, please?
Yeah, I'm on the statewide advisory board for the new CTE plan, next 5-year plan that we're writing. We got meetings coming up. In fact, tomorrow's the first one. And I was wondering if anybody else on the district is engaged, and if they actually, and if not, if you guys have any maybe input that you'd like to see reflected in that state plan. I can certainly bring it to the gang.
Pam and her people are, but I will check tomorrow morning, and then if we're not, certainly
let me know.
Certainly give you some feedback.
It'd be good to coordinate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Gallo.
Great, thank you.
All right, Mr. Tillman?
Yes. Over the years, we have the outstanding student, and I've added a couple of other ones. I want to recommend adding when they bring in the outstanding student for that school, we do the parent, and we do a teacher and classify.
Yes.
I want to add a grandparent.
A grandparent.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that fall into the parents as well?
No.
No?
No, because a lot of times you have, because like the other day, we had a grandparent that came down with the 61 golf team. And I think if we recognize grandparents, it may encourage other grandparents to
Okay.
feel, not only be more involved, but even feel appreciated.
Okay.
Because it is, I think, an extra commitment. You've raised your kids already, and to still be motivated to help your grandkids is something I think that should be awarded and noted.
All right.
So,
the grandparents that don't necessarily have their children, the grandchildren live with them, those are the grandparents that are involved.
Some will. Some will be ones that volunteer. Some pick their kids up every day. Some take them to the programs. Some are always at the events. Some, I'm sure, volunteering at the sites. But just recognize them.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Yes, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
All right. I was at the Black Parent Summit, and I know many of as it was mentioned earlier, many of us were there. It was great to see so many parents and just how, this was the first year, especially when you look at our district doing things. It's great because we're able to do things on our own, and it there might have been hiccups, which I didn't hear about, but that's always a learning process, and I'm just really excited about next year and how it's going to be, and the amount of people that are going to be coming to that. But while we were there, we did have a conversation regarding transportation for after-school programs or programs that are contracted to the school district. And I was walking through a neighborhood in Highland and speaking with a family and didn't even know what the BCs were. And they're like, oh, yeah, there's BCs here. And I didn't understand what that meant. And I was like, when you clarify, and he says, well, it's the Bloods and Crips. And the reality is many of our children are walking in neighborhoods. And one of the complaints the parent had was, well, first of all, we don't have money for transportation. So if we want our kids to even participate YMCA, we can't, first of all, afford that maybe $35. And then having to take our kids walking through these neighborhoods is a reality they're facing. And so people will complain, well, maybe it's a block away, but yet walking that one block is not necessarily the safest thing for the child. And it could be even a teenager. And so one of the things I'm looking at as a proposal for the district is looking at after-school programs and providing those transportation. I don't know what it would look like. Would it be vans? Would it be for smaller organizations that maybe have only 10 students? What that would look like. And it doesn't have to necessarily be in stops. It could be just picking up from their home. And so I would like for our district to look at that and maybe investing in those type of programs for students because they want to participate. They want their children to participate, but unfortunately, not everyone can do so. Okay, and that would be basically my public comments.
Thank you, Ms.
So then we'll go ahead and go to Dr. Marsden, 7.6.
Thank you, Ms. Medina. And as Dr. Hill mentioned, most of the board was able to attend, actually. Thank you for coming to the employee gathering, and we had just a great lineup of our students were our keynote presentation, and it was a fantastic way to welcome the year. You would have been proud if you didn't see her in action of your former student board member, Yoselin, and so she did just a fantastic job. And board with that, we do want to reschedule a subcommittee of the board to select our student board members. We have several that have applied, and I'm having a tough time selecting, but I will select if you're not available because I do want to get them into place. So if you are available this Thursday, August 8th, that's this week from 11:30 to 1, I'm just checking to see if you are. You've all previously confirmed, but if you are still available, we'll go forward with the meeting. If not, then I'll just select if something's come up for you. So Dr. Flores, are you available for that? Okay, fantastic. And Mr. Gallo, would you be available again for that? Oh yeah, I think we could do it within an hour easily. Yeah, Miss Rogers, would you still be available? Okay, fantastic. So we're going to maintain that meeting and hopefully select those students and notify them and get them oriented and engaged quickly. Secondly, Board, I wanted to invite those of you, we have a subcommittee of the board. I want to see if you're available to join us. Recently, I participated in a tour of the Arrowhead Grove project with Ginger Ontiveros and E. Neil Roberts, Principal Yosan Helamariam, and the National Corps representatives in an effort to share information around phase 3 of their project. And we'd like to reconvene or convene a subcommittee of the board on Tuesday, August 19th from 5:30 to 6:30. This would be Ms. Medina, Mr. Gallo, Dr. Wyatt, and Ms. Rogers as an alternative. So I don't know if you could check your calendars quickly. August 19th, 5:30 to 6:30. What we'd be doing is discussing possible next steps. We'd bring the principals from that area. Mr. Murrieta from neighboring Sierra as well would join us in the conversation. This would just be an initial conversation about possible next steps to tee up the potential of a future presentation to the entire board. So again, that's August 19th, 5:30 to 6:30, just be for 1 hour. Ms. Medina, would you be available on that day? Fantastic. Thank you.
Can I ask a question? Dale,
Yes.
Is the conversation going to be in terms of changing Sierra?
So what I think where we're at is only at an exploratory phase, Mr. Tillman, and it would be what are the possibilities, because that hasn't been raised. There's been no decision made. Any decision that is made would be made by the entire board. And I think the rationale behind a subcommittee meeting is to be able to ask some of the questions in advance. So when the presentation comes to the board, for the board to then begin this dialogue together and provide direction. All the homework has been done and prepped up. So this allows an opportunity for board members to say, hey, these are questions that we're going to raise. Let's do this work together. So the presentation can be teed up well.
I would just be careful, because any conversation like that causes a concern and a ripple effect throughout the whole community. I know no one is suggesting we're going to not have a Sierra High School. I mean, I was going to bring it up. It talks of some folks talking about some of the dual sessions are not happening right now. Is that? I mean, they're not doing day and night anymore, or something happened. There was a change there.
I'm not aware of that change.
But I'll talk to staff because but I know Sierra is critical to our district. So
no question, and there's not a question on the table about any of that right now. This is an exploratory and understanding of what is already, and then any discussion, Mr. Tillman, would involve the entire board.
Okay, thank you.
Madam President, just a point of clarification, Dr. Morrison.
Yes.
What are the issues, or what is the exploratory
So yeah, sure. So I'll give you an example. I went on a visit, as I mentioned in my notes, recently with Ms. Ontiveros, Ms. Helamariam, with Lorraine Perez, I think joined us as well. No, did you? No, you weren't. Ms. Ginger Ontiveros did. And we took a tour of the property to see what the development is and to understand what is phase 3 for Arrowhead Grove, what are they doing? And then looking ahead to what possibilities may exist further to help the entire area be one community. There's been all kinds of things discussed. No decisions have been made. Any decisions that are made by this board. But I think what's important is that the board has a clarity. I don't think very few of the members have already visited the campus and seen what's going on. So this is an awareness level discussion.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I'm with Mr. Tillman. Sierra is an important aspect of this.
I'm not
district.
saying anything about Sierra, so I want you to know, please don't hear from
okay.
me that anything is being said about Sierra. I'm simply including, we have a belief we involve people in decisions that affect them, so if any decisions are made, we want to start from the very beginning of engaging the board, local school leaders, communities, so that they can actually help refute rumors, because I've personally gone to schools to refute rumors when they heard, oh, we're building a K-12 or we're taking Sierra away. None of that has been decided. And if anything is decided, it would be decided by this board. It's simply a matter of a conversation around awareness of what is phase 3 look like for Arrowhead Grove. How,
and they've come to you?
I'm sorry?
They've come to you to ask?
We have been in an ongoing dialogue since they started day 1 building Arrowhead Grove, and now they're entering into phase 3. And I don't think this board is aware of what phase 3 looks like.
Well, I remember they presented it, and
Yes.
we raised issues regarding what they foresaw because they didn't have any input from us.
Would your preference be that they start here and then, if necessary, to convene a subcommittee of the board?
I think especially if they're going to be open about what they would want. Because I tell you what the problem is. Just you saying that the principals here is going to be included in the meeting is going to cause some concern for a lot of people. So if in the past they have said what they wanted. They would rather shut down some schools and make it K-12 and the schools just for that development, which is contrary to. Now I guess that's the biggest frustration I have is we have people that build houses, build apartment complexes throughout the city, and the district has a way of accommodating those new housing and apartments in our district. I mean, I think a perfect example would be
Akuma.
We built a school and a center, and we got new students, and so we have ways of doing it. We have ways of having metrics to say as more students come, we build new schools based on the need. Mm-hmm. That exists already. So I think the part I have concern is to do something outside of the regular structure, and this is outside the regular structure. But
I would prefer that they do come and then all of us hear what they have to say.
Most certainly.
Yeah, and I would prefer that. Then we're here, we should agendize it. So all 7 board members are privy to their plans.
Most certainly, I'd be happy to do that. The next item I wanted to mention is our Norton Elementary School K-8 update. And so just wanted to make sure the board is kept clear and informed on the work that we're in process of right now. So with that, Dr. Mitchell can provide for you a sense of where we are now.
Thank you, Dr. Marsden. So, board, as you remember, June, parents from Norton came to the board and requested the board consider transforming Norton, which is currently a K-6, into a K-8 to provide a continuity of programs for their STEM program. And we all acknowledge that the program is highly successful. It's hands-on and project-based, and the kids have thrived in that environment at Norton that our leaders and teachers and staff have been able to create. I then met with those parents to talk with them specifically about it, told them about the challenges the district would face turning an elementary school into a K-8 within a month before this school year started. They came back to the board. We talked a little bit more. What I heard from the board is one, the continuity of program was a high priority for you, not just at Norton, but just consideration across all of our exciting pathways in our elementary schools. And one of the things that came out of that was being clear in our program information and brochures and information for parents about what our pathways are and what our intent is around starting pathways to high school going down. Certainly acknowledging that there are some programs that are budding at the elementary that we should consider trying to provide a continuity of program. Mr. Gallo and Mr. Tillman specifically talked about the fact that we should just be sensitive to getting kids started in an exciting pathway and then not having an ability or pathway for those kids to continue. And so the next step for us, and we've communicated with Ms. Cochran-Benoit, Dell and I, we've communicated that, number one, we will convene a stakeholder meeting in terms of internal staff alongside Elizabeth to look at all of the ins and outs and looking in consideration of a going K-8 for 2021, including all our facilities, maintenance and operations folks, financial folks, and planners, and all the curriculum folks, all the hands and heads necessary to make a thoughtful, considerate recommendation to the board, to cabinet, around exploring a K-8 situation or opportunity at Norton for 2021. Secondly, what we're continuing to do and formulate is finding a continuity program for those particular 30, 40, sixth graders, so they can continue their interest at Curtis. And so our staff, are currently working with Curtis staff to evaluate a pathway for those kids to be able to continue their work in the particular STEM areas that they've developed capabilities around at Norton. And so just wanted to report to the board that once we convene that meeting, we anticipated it'd probably be a couple meetings. There'd probably be an initial meeting where we'd kind of scope out the size of the problem. Probably call another meeting where everyone would bring back relevant data, so that we were able to make a decision. And we just do kind of an interest-based solution kind of concept around what are our interests, what are our shared interests, what is our intent, what are we all after in terms of shared understandings, and then what are the barriers and opportunities that presents us in a real tactical way, and then we get to a consensus and be able to fashion a recommendation to the board. And meanwhile, we will get something up and running for those kids currently at Norton that are transitioning into Curtis, primarily into Curtis, to continue their work.
Thank you, Dr. Mitchell.
Thank
so
you.
again, board will provide you further update later. Finally, board just wanted to.
Oh wait, hold on. We have board comments. So yes, because the intention was when we added it to make sure that Dr. Morrison is to get a direction from the board a little bit, because we didn't want to have it on the agenda, but having a brief discussion. So you had a question, Mr. Gallo? Yes,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And thank you, Dr. Mitchell, for that. I think that sounds like a really good pathway and things, I think, to provide and see if we can have some, some kind of opportunity for these parents not to just lose what they'd kind of done. And just as we discussed the last time, we saw kind of different levels here, where Norton was kind of focused on really an advanced level, perhaps, of, in the advanced manufacturing pathway, and Bing Wong kind of looking at the exposure levels, kind of like just kind of a literacy lab, like they do with their STEAM lab there, and then feeding into Curtis and ultimately to Indian Springs, and maybe a couple of tracks, one kind of being a level 1, and then another one maybe being a advanced level. And so part of the advanced level pieces that we had spoken with the Department of Education on, I chair the Career Pathways and Education Committee for the State Workforce Investment Board. And this is where I met a lot of these people. In fact, they got a new CTE director at CDE. He's on my committee. The person that I've spoken with most recently is Dr. Mary Gillette. And she actually heads up like 4 of the different career pathways: advanced manufacturing, industrial technology, engineering, and I think architecture is the other one. And they have identified opportunities for Norton, specifically because they heard of the great work that they're doing, that if they were to transition into K-8, there was a lot of dollars that they'd be willing to push forward to fund not only the academic instruction, but also building and equipping labs and things. But it's got to move to a K-8 if you're going to do this. Now, we got a couple of options here, at least for parents to transition and move to a middle school environment, which is great. But these are for the primary role of them is to see that students actually transition into community college at the high school level in an advanced level. So they would be receiving industry certifications in high school, and that's typically kind of maybe one step above where we're kind of doing at Indian Springs right now. So that with the pathway that Norton could create, Norton to level 1, let's say, at Curtis, but maintaining maybe an advanced pathway in a couple of classes or something at a middle school level. It just was an opportunity offered by Dr. Gillette. And they want to bring down the CTE director. They want to bring Tony Thurman down to see what's going on in this, because not many people are doing this at the elementary school level. It is just a handful of elementary classes are really engaged in this type of activity. early on, and they can bring dollars to it when you move to a 7 and 8. So it's just an opportunity. We should probably add it to the mix of
Absolutely.
the things you're pursuing. And I think this is great dialogue.
So Ms. Cochran-Benoit did speak to Dale and I about that. I did ask her to gather all the information that she has to bring to bear at that meeting.
Great. Thanks, Kate.
And I just want to commend you on the work. I think this is great. This reminds me of the start of middle college. And a lot of us that are here now think about middle college, the school itself. But that wasn't the case. When it started, it was the most raggediest building you can imagine, across the street from Valley College, just a room they weren't using. And that was the start. And no one knew it was going to end up being a full school. But, I mean, this is, I think, being nimble and responding to the new technology. A lot of the stuff they're doing there is brand new technology. 10 years ago, we didn't have 3D printers. And to see the work that they're doing with that type of stuff, I think that's why they're being noticed statewide. But I think it's up to the district to respond. But I think when you're doing this, if we're going to do 2021, I think it's great. But at the same time, I think you should be preparing for what you're going to do at that high school level, because it's going to come up on us quick, right? So we know the next phase is they're going to transition into a high school. I don't know what high school that is.
Indian Springs, most likely.
Yeah, I don't know what the district.
Yeah,
is.
it'd be Indian.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is from a practical perspective, is that the?
That's the feeder pattern.
Is that where the Norton kids would go?
Yes, Norton, Curtis, Indian.
Yeah, I thought they went to Arrowview, don't they? Isn't that where some of the? I think it's kind of split, but
the majority
I
of our
suppose you'd
feeder
want to
systems,
see them go to
the majority
Curtis.
feeds. There's always one-offs, but the way we have our feeder system set up is that the majority of the middle schools feed into one high school.
Are we providing the transportation?
Well, they're next door, Curtis and Indian, right?
So I mean, for the students that go to Norton.
So all of our students are eligible for our current bus travel.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That's
all
great.
That, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But I hear you to consider that those kids would eventually matriculate in high school to make sure that we don't have the same problem.
Exactly.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mitchell. And finally, the board just wanted to welcome this year's seniors in the class of, you can believe this, of 2020, and to this year's incoming kindergarten class of 2032. So welcome back to our students and the start of school. Those are my comments.
Okay, great. Let's go ahead and move to consent calendar 8.0. Do I have a motion? Okay, any items to be pulled?
I do.
Hold on one second. Where's my pencil? Okay, what
Um,
item?
Yeah, I
8.10, just for clarification, 8.13, and 8.30.
Okay, and then who else?
I want to pull 8.47. I
Okay.
need to recuse myself.
Okay, going once, going twice. Okay, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All's in favor say aye.
Aye.
All's opposed say nay. Okay, motion carried. Let's go to 8.10.
Okay, I just needed clarification, Dr. Marsden. I know it says there's no cost to the district, but my question is, how many schools are we going to pilot, are going to participate in the pilot?
Sure, thank you for your question. Ms. Christakos will answer that question for you.
I actually could have Adrian come on up, but it looks like Lincoln, Neil Roberts, and Muscoy. I'll let her tell you.
And I'd like to also have a clarification of how it's going to work, because I thought we had a before school breakfast program.
Very good.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Adrian Robles, Director of Nutrition Services. To respond to your question, the Share Our Strength is part of the No Hungry campaign. They have a partnership in trying to help promote and market, because participation for breakfast nationwide is around 23%. And so it's a campaign to help get the kids to come and eat. And we're only looking to start out with one school and maybe two to see how it develops. But we're mainly looking at like second chance breakfast during the recess time. So we'll have a grab and go breakfast. And it's more to help promote and market the program for us.
What does that mean?
They're going to advertise to our parents, maybe go to parent meetings, kind of spread the word about the importance of breakfast and to help get the kids come and eat. Because part of the struggles that we have is getting the kids to come on time in the morning for school. And this allows them that opportunity that if they don't make it in time, to have a meal. Because going from dinner the night before all the way until lunch is a long time to go without eating.
So it's for the kids that don't get to eat when they come? Okay.
Yes.
All right, that's good. And then how are you going to monitor it, or how are you going to?
We'll be looking at the breakfast participation rate and how well it's received by the kids, you know, if they're eating the meals. And I can provide an update for you.
Okay. So how will you know that they didn't get breakfast?
We have a record through our meal accounting system, so we know who has received a meal that day or not.
Okay, so the
Yes.
kids have to give you a number.
That's correct.
Okay, all right, great. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, great.
Thank
So moved.
Yes, and I just didn't read the topic, which was the title, Agreement with Share Our Strength, Inc.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion. Is there a second? Any further discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed, say nay. Motion carried. 8.13.
8.13 involves master services agreements for architectural and engineering services.
Thank you.
And I've been on this board since 2008, and I've never seen an agenda item like this before. I actually have two questions. And the reason I'm raising the question is because when we have, in the past, we've had bids that go out for facilities. And in this item, it says we are going to only approve 9 architectural programs that will be used from August 7th through 2019 to June 30th, 2020. So my question is, I thought we had to give RFPs for any facilities, planning and development that we're going to have, so that we have bids so that they're competitive.
Ms. Christakis can clarify.
Right, that's my first question. The second question is, I would like to know, this board has committed to providing, diversity companies and having equity in terms of providing equity to diverse companies that represent diversity in terms of all kinds of bids. So I'm wondering what type of diversity they represent, these companies.
So they went through a process. You interviewed several firms, correct? And they are also going to do another process for small projects, because we often will have small projects. Maybe a site wants to do something, so we'll add additional firms for those small projects under 100,000 that often go through maintenance and operations. Right. And Joe can fill you in on the process they took for this one.
Well, you've done this before, right?
Yes, good evening, Board. Dr. Flores. Our existing RFP for master services is about 5 years old. At that time, we selected 6 companies, and we've been using them for projects for the last 5 years. We have had issues with a couple of the architect firms, and so we thought it was prudent to do an additional a refresh of that RFP. So in that process, we interviewed 11 architectural firms, and we selected 9. So once they're in our master services agreement, we can select any of those architectural firms to do design work on our projects.
But my concern is we're supposed to pick the lowest bidder. And so if you have 9 companies, I mean, how are you going to get the load? What if there's a bidder that can do the job that isn't in this cadre?
So this is for design.
This is for the
For
design?
design only, yes, for architects. So once the architect designs it and it goes through DSA, then we do a process for bidding the work out, whether it's a,
So these 9 companies will only be the designers?
that's correct. These are all architects.
And do you know what diversity they represent?
I wasn't
Was that
in-
one of the criteria?
I wasn't in the preliminary grading process,
Uh-huh.
so I can't speak to that specifically, but we can get you that information.
We can look into that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. I just feel it isn't fair.
Well, it's based on their ability to design large-sized modernization and new construction projects.
Mm-hmm.
As
And
Ms.
these are the only companies that bid?
There were 11 that bid,
Uh-huh.
and we shortlisted it down to 9. So
Do
we
you know
felt
what
of
the
11
criteria were to select them?
It was, well, in short, it was based on their experience working with K-12, in the K-12 environment, working with the Division of State Architects,
Mhm.
and experience with the types of projects that we have.
Right. So
in-
now, while you're talking, I thought of another question. Do we have the track record for these? Have any of these people worked for us before?
Yes.
How many?
I don't know specifically, about half of them, I would believe.
Dr. Flores, we can get
I'll
you
get you that.
information
All that.
on all of this.
So I'm kind of uncomfortable because I don't know. I thought we had to go through a certain process. Have we passed this through our legal?
Yes, we have our RFP.
work with legal.
Yeah, we work with our legal counsel. This is the same process that all school districts used for selecting architectural firms.
Right. Oh, I remember that. I think I raised it then too.
Barbara, just Dr. Flores, Mr. Tillman has a question. Is that okay for him?
Okay,
to-
go ahead.
Who were the 2 companies that were not included?
I don't know that off the top of my head, I'm sorry.
And you know the reason why they weren't included?
No, he doesn't know the criteria.
We'll bring that back to you.
We'll bring that to you.
We'll bring it back to
We'll
you.
prepare a BC for the board.
I always want to ask because I know there's a gentleman who always, and I think I talked to you about it a while ago. He told me that we systematically exclude, his company because we asked for something that.
Is it a small company? Is it a small?
I don't know
company?
how small
So
it
we're
is.
going to do a separate one for some smaller companies because you really have to have a good experience to working
Well,
with DSA and working
Yeah,
with
well, he
school
has the
districts.
experience. I forgot what the reason why he said that. A lot of times they get
I can
excluded.
follow up with you on that.
Okay.
Dr. Marsden, not Dr. President Medina, I would like to table this until we get the answers to these questions.
Or another way you could do it is the thing that's on here that it says that it's locked down and you can't. The 9 firms top rank upon, but you're saying here that only these 9 will be used for X amount of years.
Correct.
So if we had a concern, maybe they could go forward with this.
Go
but-
what? Go
Go
forward?
forward with this, but not have the language, write some language that will allow you to add if we saw the need.
So this is it is a competitive process, and it's the standard process for like I said, for choosing architects. Once we have the 9, then we would distribute, work among them evenly. Right now we have, like I said, under the old RFP, there was 6 architects that were selected, and we've had issues with 2 of them. So we're down to 4. And with the board-approved facilities master plan work that we have coming up, we felt that it was prudent to refresh that list. So I think of the 4 that we're currently using, all made it into this next round of selection. So we would be building upon that base that we have already.
So how long did we advertise?
Well, we advertise twice, and then we give them an amount of time to prepare a presentation and
Yeah, I'm
present
saying
it
how
to-
long did we advertise for?
Well, there's 2 advertisements a week apart.
And it was advertisement other than these newspapers?
I'm not sure where we advertise. I'll have to get back to you on that.
Because my only other concern is that if we called certain companies and then the other companies didn't know and didn't get the word that we had it open, so then, and I only hear about this after the fact, you know, I didn't know it was open, and, you know, because there's a lot of people that don't read the Sun and the El Chicano and the Precinct Reporter.
There's
So-
notifications through cash and all the statewide.
Did we, someone asked us if we did
Yeah,
that?
so I'm assuming we do, because that's how, so we can bring all
I'll
that
verify
back
that.
to you, and I think we can always add to the list. Is that correct?
No.
I
Not
think once
according
we.
to this.
once
And
we
Debbie
select
may
from that
know,
list, yeah.
Debbie's sitting back there, she may know. I apologize because Tom's not here, but we don't want to hold up the work. We have that master plan that we need to move forward. And construction is booming right now. So it's a shortage of resources to get qualified people working on your projects. And so we want to make sure that we continue forward and we're prepared moving forward with our plans.
So,
It's
Ms.
up to the board.
Kostakos, just to be clear, if the board doesn't take action tonight, it will have some impact
could.
potentially to the
For a
work we're
couple
doing.
weeks.
But
Debbie
in the
can-
meantime, you could provide answers to the questions that were raised as well.
Is there anything you could add,
That's
Debbie,
correct,
that
Dr.
might help?
Marsden. And we currently have, like I said, several projects in design, and they're currently working on those projects. So this is for projects that we have not yet assigned an architect to.
Got it. So there are some,
So there would be a little bit of an impact, a slight delay assigning, you know, future projects.
got it. Thank you, that's helpful.
So just to add to and address Danny's question, you had advertised for 2 weeks, 7 days each 2 weeks. It did advertise in trade journals, construction journals, and it followed all the guidelines of Office of Public School Construction Guidelines. And so it's a pre-qualification process that they go through. It's not really the cost. They go through and they would pre-qualify, and they asked all these vendors the same thing. And then we kind of look at, or I know Tom looked at, encouraging small minority and local-owned vendors. So one of the goals he has is, because these are large projects, is one of the requirements is for them to submit a list of small businesses, small minority-owned, and local vendors that they can work with and bring in and be a part of the projects. So that was part of the criteria, if that helps.
Okay, was there any, did you still want to table this or just,
If you call for a vote, I'm going to vote no.
okay. So then let's call
Well,
for
we
the
have
vote.
a motion and a second, right?
Okay, so then, any further discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Nay. We have one nay with Dr. Flores. Let's go to 8.30.
That's all right.
8.30. Dr. Flores?
That was
This
mine.
is renewal of the agreement of Consortium of Reaching Excellence, Placerville, California, to provide support and training for the district's secondary literacy action plan.
I'm glad to see this because of our literacy campaign and secondary. And I'm just wondering, just for point of clarification, how are we going to track their effectiveness and results? Is there an embedded evaluation for tracking, what the impact of their professional development will be?
So this is not professional development. This is helping them. This is to finish helping us develop a secondary literacy outline. We completed one for elementary, and that's been rolled out last year and this year. Last year, we started the development of a secondary literacy plan. The committee that met 5 times with CORE, and they decided that they needed a little bit more time. So this is an additional contract to continue the committee's work to finish the secondary literacy plan.
Why doesn't it say that? Because it says to provide support, materials, and training for 15 teachers for the district's secondary literacy action plan.
Yes, that's what I just said. So there's 15 teachers that are on a committee, and they provide training and support to help that committee develop a secondary literacy plan.
So, okay, so that's what this is for.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right, it wasn't very clear to me. I thought they were going to be training teachers.
Yeah, they're training.
For
They're training them. So core is the experts in reading, and so we have secondary English teachers, and so core is assisting us in providing technical assistance to English teachers in developing a district-wide secondary literacy plan. And so there is training and technical assistance from experts. And so if you can imagine, our English teachers who are teachers are working with college level researcher types to embed research-based, evidence-based practices into a secondary literacy program, getting their feedback throughout, but also kind of a give and take where the researchers are providing the technical assistance that teachers need, and teachers are thinking from a practical sense from a classroom level.
So it's twofold. They're learning how to teach with support, and because it says it's co-training and observation, and plus they're going to help develop the secondary literacy action plan.
Absolutely. It's really
So
a great
it's
model.
twofold.
Yeah,
So
it's a great
twofold.
model that we're implementing here.
And it's only 15 teachers?
Yeah, because that's who's on the committee, and of course SBTA was
Are
involved.
they AP teachers, or are they just regular?
They're across the board English teachers.
All
Yes,
different
absolutely.
types of English
6th through 12th grade English teachers.
6 through 12?
Yeah, secondary.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carried. Let's go to 8.47. 8.47. And that is, he has to recuse himself. So this is renewal of the agreement with Technical Employment Training, Inc., San Bernardino, California, for the development and growth of the San Andreas High School Advanced Technology Farming Career Pathway and the Growing Hope Program. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carried. Let's go ahead and bring Mr. Gallo back. Going to action items 9.1. Personnel report number 2, dated August 6, 2019. Dr. Wiseman,
As presented. So moved.
any discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, motion carried. Be resolved that the personnel report number 2, dated August 6, 2019, is approved as presented. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to 9.2. 45-day revision after adoption of governor's budget fiscal year 2019-20.
So moved.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, motion carried. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves the inclusion of the revisions as presented in the budgeting of revenues and expenditures in order to meet the 45-day revision requirements to fiscal year 2019-20 per Education Code Section 42127H. Let's go to 9.3.
So moved.
Based on board ongoing initiative reports. Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carried. 9.4, board top 10.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, motion carried. 9.5, board follow-up.
So moved.
Need a second? Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carried. 9.6, future agenda items.
So moved.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carried. Let's go to 10.0, summary of board requests. Dr. Volkemer.
Thank you, Madam President. Board, I have the following items listed for follow-up. Number 1, continue to explore the positive impact, I think if that's the correct name, Dr. Flores, positive impact domestic violence program, bringing that to students. Number two, be sure to publicize the dates of the Latino task force, and I added obviously the African American task force as well. Make sure that we do a widespread publicity campaign on the availability of those dates. Bring the board an update on program evaluation and where we are with that process in those programs. Next one is provide the amount of carryover in September from our budget process. Next is in terms of our board recognition program that we have each month, include grandparents as well as parents and students, et cetera, and employees. Explore the possibility of providing transportation through our after-school programs to various other types of programs in the city. And then the last one that I have is bring back information related to the specific architecture firms that were approved as part of the master service agreement. And those are all the follow-ups I have.
Okay, great. So that means we're now at 13.0. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Okay, meeting adjourned. Let's go ahead. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Okay, that's great. Next board meeting, it will be held on December. Why am I already in December? Tuesday, August the 20th, here at 5:30 p.m. All right, thank you, everyone.